Game day, Citi Field. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. Good morning to everybody. Bill's here, Ray's here. Big game tonight. And, I'm looking at what the crowd could be at Citi Field. It's normally not a rabid crowd. Now, it'll be more rabid tonight with Mets fans pouring in there. I get it. But I don't think that Citi Field is that intimidating a place for the Phillies. So I think they can go in with a steady hand pitcher. Aaron Nola is nothing if not a steady hand. Sometimes he goes off when his release point is bad, and that's the risk because, to me, that's the whole key to tonight's game. Aaron Nola has to get them through 7. And then you got to reduce the margins and hope that the relief pitchers that you will use in those spots succeed rather than not, which they haven't done so far. I can't emphasize how big that is for tonight. I don't see Aaron Nola going past 7. So you're going to have to get an 8th inning out of, depending who's up, either Hoffman, Alvarado, Strom, and then you're going to get Estevez to try to close out this game tonight. I do like the Phillies tonight, though. I do like them. I think what they did on Sunday gives them a lot more offensive confidence to go in there tonight against Sean Manaea. They're going to probably have a total right-handed hitting lineup against them other than Harper. I expect Sosa to be the second baseman. Bohm is back at third base. And I don't know. It's caution to the wind here. If the Phillies win this game, they're in control of the series. I would even expect that they could win it in 4. So let's go to our peeps. Bill, how you feeling about tonight?
I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't have a feel either way. I mean, it's really a toss-up. It could go any way. I'm hoping that you're right, that Aaron Nola comes out and pitches 7 scoreless innings would be great. We've seen him. It's been up and down. 5 really good starts in his postseason career, 4 bad. Last year he had 3 good ones before he had that 1 bad one. But he's been pretty good at Citi Field. He's been pretty good, but I just don't know. Like this Sean Manaea, Phillies had a lot of success against him, especially in the postseason last year when he was with San Diego. They dominated him, 2 years ago in the NLCS. They dominated him. He came on in relief. Phillies in 1 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs. Rhys Hoskins went yard on him. But he's a different pitcher this year. He's having career year, Sean Manaea. His velocity's up. So I don't know how things are going to go tonight.
He's the example of a pitcher who went bad to the point where he had to be demoted to the minor leagues. They didn't think they were going to get anything out of the guy. And somehow he figured it out, and with the tutoring or what their staff did with him, he's a different pitcher. Now he's a weird pitcher in that he starts on the right side of the rubber and then goes completely across his body when he veers out to the left. So that release point is really difficult for a lot of hitters. It's so deceptive. And when he's got his stuff, he's good. But let's look at the dynamics of this game. Bohm will be back in the lineup. Now, I've been reading. There's a headline here that I have to focus on here. Phillies' Alec Bohm says his benching was, quote, a little surprising, but he isn't pouting. Well, you know what he did? He pouted. He pouted because he wasn't in the lineup. He pouted. He went in the outfield, and he looked despondent, and he was talking to some lower-level minor league coach about it. His brain is not in the right spot. And Tom says, I think he's in a good spot. You're saying that crossing your fingers, dude. Now, he's got to be a big hitter in this lineup. He's got to snap out of it. And it remains to be seen whether that's going to happen. But let's look at the New York Mets because their stats, I got to see both sides of this whole thing. This is why the Mets were a frightening opponent, because of their ability to come back in late innings. A lot of teams that don't have that kind of heart will give it up. When things are bleak and, you get the hang dog thing and you start squeezing the bat a little more. Well, starting with the doubleheader against the Braves, needing a win in the first game, they scored 6 runs in the 8th. Game 1 of the wild card against the Brewers, they scored 5 in the 5th. Game 3, they scored 4 in the 9th. And, of course, we saw what they did in Game 1, scoring 5 in the 8th. That is very impressive. And so now, on their home field, here's what I look at. In your home field, you don't play as loose. As weird as that sounds, when you're in somebody else's ballpark, the pressure is not there from your home fans. So if you get behind at home, it's a completely different story. And I'm wondering, because all these games have been away from home. You know, they're returning home for the first time in a really long time. If the Phillies have him and Nola pitches well, and the Phillies are, say, up 4-1 late, I'm not sure that this Mets magic applies with the pressure of that home crowd wanting them to succeed.
I hope you're right. I mean, look, the Phillies can certainly do themselves a favor if they get out to an early lead and put the pressure on. Maybe like you said, maybe the emotional carryover from Sunday's game. And if the Phillies can jump on Manaea early, I think you're right. Maybe the Mets start to crumble. But I keep hearing, and I heard Amy say it on the morning show, the Mets are going to Met. I don't know if this Mets team's going to Met.
The Mets haven't Metted.
That's what I mean.
So,
I don't know.
So I don't know. You can't use that anymore. They're a different team with a different mindset, and they put together people. It's amazing. These guys really get the value of good at-bats, which the Phillies don't do. The Phillies are not a good at-bat team. The Mets are. And so, and that's why Nola has to be really sharp tonight. His location has to be sharp because if he's not, they'll wait him out. And he'll take some walks. He'll take some close pitches that may be called balls. So it's all in the air tonight. I am not in favor of benching Stott. I am not in favor of playing Rojas instead of Marsh. I'm just not. So we'll see how that goes. That's the way Rob Thompson does it. All right-handed probably against Manaea, who slings from way in the side.
Let me ask you. You said you're not in favor of Rojas over Marsh.
No.
But I think the question is Rojas or it would be Hayes is in left, right? Hayes is definitely starting.
Well, I would assume he is.
I mean, this is why you made the move.
We don't know the lineup yet. So if he plays Rojas in center, Marsh in left, I don't know. I would play Hayes. Hayes has not delivered at all. But I just somehow have this sense that if he gets a shot, he's going to deliver a couple of big hits.
Against Manaea, it's a small sample size, but Hayes is 2 for 3. So he's batting .667. Hitting .667.
Yeah, he's batting.
Hitting 6. You get mad when I say batting.
Yeah, well, it's not the proper lingo.
But I would think
he hits. He hits
.667.
Yeah.
I would think Austin Hayes is definitely in the lineup. The question is, do you go Marsh or Rojas in center? And then the other question would be second base. Do you go Stott or Sosa? Stott's actually had a lot of success against Manaea. He's hitting .429.
Well, in that case, maybe Rob Thompson's shocks. He loves Sosa so much that I think he's going to play Sosa tonight.
Sosa's hitting. I always say batting.
Because it's unnatural for you because you're a football man.
I just have always said batting.
Well, it's always been wrong.
Batting average. Anyway, Sosa's hitting .500. He's 4 for 8 in his career. It'll be interesting. Now, Bohm struggled against Manaea in his career. So we'll see. But this year, everything's different with Manaea this year. Not only is his velocity up, not only is he having a career year, he's got reverse splits this year for the first time in his career, where hitters are actually performing better from the left side of the plate than the right, which is not usually the case throughout his career. Is that just an anomaly, or is that something different that's going on?
Listen, who knows? I try to reduce it to the lowest form, and the lowest form to me is the player better players. That's what I do. I don't try to overthink it in the playoffs. And if you overthink it, and I thought he overthought it with Sosa playing third base, starting at third base, I didn't think that was the right move at all on any measure, defensively or offensively. You take a guy out who's got 97 RBIs, and you don't know when he's going to strike. Like, you can't bench a guy who's got 97 RBIs and has delivered, even though he's in some kind of a slump. You're overthinking it when you do that, and I hate when Rob Thompson does that.
Speaking of overthinking it, did you see this breaking news from Adam Schefter?
What a segue.
Yeah. Well, before we hit the break, this is big news.
Is this really big news for you?
I think it is.
It is? Robert Saleh gets fired? Is that big news?
Ray, is that not big news?
Do we give a crap about Robert Saleh? In light of what we're talking about here, are you going to give me Robert Saleh getting fired?
Well, we're about to hit the break. I thought our audience should know. It's big news. The reason why I think it's big news is because fans in this city, a lot of them were calling for our head coach to be fired. And I kept saying, this doesn't happen in the NFL this early. Doesn't happen. This isn't the NHL.
Listen to that guy. I mean, that guy's been a crappy coach. How many years? He hasn't gotten it together in any year. He didn't go to a Super Bowl.
Well, once Aaron Rodgers was out on him, it seemed inevitable.
Yeah, all right. Well, in any event, 610-632-0975. Now, we got a jam-packed show here. We got John Sciambi, who's going to be calling the game for ESPN Radio at 10:30. We got Todd Zolecki, who covers the Phillies for MLB.com at 11:20. So we'll get both their spins on this game as they have to obviously call the game and report on it. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. We are looking forward to your calls. Yesterday, we sensed that you were a little apprehensive about where this series was going. And I understand it. After what happened Saturday, you were not overwhelmed by even that great victory on Sunday to you feeling confident about the rest of this series. So I want to know how you feel now. Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. It's a game day, and people out there, maybe they don't get into baseball mindset until later today when they're just a couple hours away. But this is a major, major game tonight. Just think of the ramifications of this game. The ramifications of this game are, if they lose, it's going to be tough for them to win the series.
Especially because you don't know what version of Ranger Suarez you get tomorrow.
Well, exactly. And this is why it's so important for Nola tonight. Because if you use your bullpen tonight, then what do you do in the next game? You know Ranger Suarez is only they're going to have a really short leash on him, maybe even to the point where he doesn't get through 5 tomorrow. And then you got to use your pen again. This is why Nola is so critical to go deep tonight.
Oh, man, I don't know how I feel, man. I'm hoping by the end of this show I have a better feeling for tonight's game. I don't know where the fan base is on this either. But you're right. It's almost a must-win for the Phillies. Because if they win tonight, tomorrow you're almost playing with house money because you know you're coming back to Citizens Bank Park with Zach Wheeler on the mound, even if you lose tomorrow. But, man, you're right. If Nola doesn't go 6 or 7 innings and you exhaust your bullpen, the last 5 starts, Rangers only pitched once more than 5 innings.
It's so critical for Nola tonight. And see, this is the gamble that Rob Thompson took, right? He thought he could get by with Sanchez on Sunday. That didn't exactly go to plan because the Phillies had to come back and win that game with offensive heroics. And so now he's got his guy on the road. And we'll see if he delivers.
It's a big night for Nola. It is a big night for Aaron Nola. And I just pray that nerd, Pete Alonso, who's had success against Nola in his career, that he can shut him down tonight. I don't want to see that nerd give a chef's kiss coming around first tonight at Citi Field.
He kills Nola.
5 homers against him in his career. He's batting .320, hitting .320. I still think batting is okay.
Yeah. All right. Let me ask you this about golf. You ever, a guy goes, I hit 88. What's the proper nomenclature?
You shot an 88.
You shot 88.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
That I agree. I don't know about batting versus hitting.
He hits .322 against them. Doesn't that sound more natural?
He's hitting. Yeah, sure. Sure. Ray, you agree with Mike on this,
Ray,
right?
weigh in on this, Ray.
Yeah, I mean, in full transparency, I don't really care in the slightest on it. It's hitting, but I've accepted that some things we're not going to get through to Bill on. And this one, I'm okay if he says batting.
Yeah, he bats .233.
Yeah,
Sounds a little more awkward than he hits .233.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, I know what you're saying.
Because you're a hitter. You're a hitter. You're not. Are you a batter or a hitter?
You could be a batter.
But nobody said the
Harry Callis. Harry Callis.
Hitter.
2 balls and a strike on the batter.
He's a 4-hole batter or a full hole hitter.
Hitter in that scenario.
Well, there you go.
Either way,
not that people care.
Either way, let's hope Alonso gets shut down by Nola.
All right. So what is your line? I want your lineup tonight for the Phillies. Are you playing Sosa at second base tonight?
So, again, before the series, I would have platooned Sosa and Stott. After Stott gets the triple yesterday or on Sunday, and then looking at his career against Manaea where he's hitting .429, I'm going to keep Stott in the lineup.
You're going to keep Stott in the lineup?
I'm going to keep Stott.
You flopped.
I did flip-flop on that, but I did not flip-flop on I don't need Brandon Marsh in this lineup tonight.
So you're playing Hayes over Marsh in left, Rojas in center, and you're keeping Stott as the only other left-handed hitter in the lineup, other than Schwarber and Harper.
Correct. And then you still go Bohm's obviously back in the lineup. You still got Turner at short, JT behind the plate. That sounds like a winning lineup to me.
All right, so 3 of your 9, that's 1/3 of your lineup is going to be left-handed against a really tough left-hander.
3 of 9. And then assuming that they go to the pen, which I'm hoping happens earlier than later, they only have one left-hander in their bullpen. So now you could start to maybe switch things up. Maybe Stott comes back in, Stott's already in. Maybe Marsh comes in. I'll tell you what. This may sound crazy. I may go Cody Clemens before Brandon Marsh tonight if they go to the pen and a righty comes in. Who do you trust more at the plate right now? Cody Clemens or Brandon Marsh?
Too small of a sample size for me to trust Cody Clemens.
I don't know, man.
I don't. Again, you and these part-time players, you just throw them right in there.
The guy's been coming up clutch. If you need a hit, it's late in the game. There's a righty on the mound. If I'm Rob Thompson, I'm saying, Cody, get your bat, kid.
Yeah, well, then you're probably going to have to use 2 players because you're not going to send Cody Clemens out to play outfield, are you?
Depending on what the score is.
So you would have to use 2 players.
If the Phillies are behind in the game, I'm okay with Cody staying in. If you're up, then I want Marsh defensively.
Not have Cody Clemens in the outfield in the playoff game and late in the inning.
If you're down,
come on.
If you're down,
Ray, help me out here.
So, when you say you would use him in a vacuum to bat, I'm cool with the length he gives you in terms of the at-bat he's going to give you. But the idea of him going to play left field in Citi Field with my season potentially on the line, I'm sweating in this booth right now.
So then you would, if you pinch hit with Clemens, then you're going to what? Put Marsh in, not let Clemens play the field.
I don't trust him out there.
You can't possibly put him in left field in late innings. Bill,
hear what you're saying in terms of the at-bat.
You're killing me. And you're not going to use 2 players. The players are at a premium.
I don't know. It depends on what the score is. If they're down in the game and you need offense, I'm going Clemens over.
Oh, my God.
If you need offense, I'm going Cody Clemens.
All right, listen. If you're in the 9th inning and you need a big hit and you're behind, maybe, because then you're throwing caution to win. You don't have any choice. But if it's like you're talking about maybe the 7th inning in a pinch hit role in the top of the 7th?
Depends on the situation. I have zero trust in Marsh at the plate. Zero.
Against the right-hander? You'd rather have Cody Clemens in that spot than Marsh and then use 2 players? Or you would rather have Cody Clemens take the field after his at-bat? Come on, Bill.
You can't use 2 players.
Bill, you're killing me. All right, John Sciambi is coming up. He's going to have to call the game. Of course, they call him Boog. You know why? I think this is it. I don't know. It's probably like he resembled Boog Powell, the old slugger from the Baltimore Orioles. I think that's why they call him Boog.
We'll find out.
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't know if he's ever revealed that. That's my hypothesis. But he works with Doug Glanville, former Philly, former Penn star.
I remember Glanville.
Sure you do. Mike Missanelli Show. It's back after this. ESPN Radio as the Phillies took the lead in dramatic fashion on that hit. We welcome the man who delivered that call, ESPN Radio baseball announcer. He works with our pal Doug Glanville, a Philly man. He is, of course, John Boog Sciambi. Hello, John. How are you?
Mike, what's happened? Hey, I'm a Philly guy, too. I was born in Philly.
I know. I saw where you were born in Philly. Tell me about your Philly background before we get to the business at hand here.
I mean, was born in Philly at Nazareth Hospital, and then lived in Elkins Park in Jenkintown before we moved. But I moved to New York. My dad's side all from Philly, and they got their hooks in me, and so the 80 Phillies was probably my favorite sports team ever. Schmidt and Carlton were my guys, and yeah, probably the saddest day of my life was when the Eagles lost to the Raiders in the Super Bowl.
This is a really underplayed detail in your life here. It really is. You know what? Because
on my wall in my room, basically from whatever year it came out, but I had the Schmidt Carlton Nike poster where Schmidt has the bat on fire and Carlton's holding the ball that's on fire.
Wow. So how old were you when you left Philly?
I was 7.
You were 7, okay. So
Yeah.
you
But we would go back down. My grandfather was head of construction for the vet.
Wow.
So, he wasn't the architect, but he was the head of construction.
Unbelievable.
For the vet. Yeah.
You were in that little Cheltenham school district growing up as a little John Sciambi?
I was over there by Alberthorpe Park.
Oh, yeah, Abington, the Abington
Park, yeah.
area. I hear you. All right, so let's talk about the call. That is a game I'm guessing a broadcaster loves to broadcast with the excitement, the crowd being down, and all of a sudden Harper lights them up, and then they lose the lead, and here comes Stott, and they lose the lead again, and then they win it in the ninth. I mean, that's got to be a dream for a broadcaster.
It's a great game. I mean, that's a classic baseball game. It was. I would say the bank is one of my favorite places to work for a number of reasons. The atmosphere would be first. It's also the vantage point is sensational. It's just got a lot of buzz to it. And then, the teams delivered with with a seesaw battle. So, I mean, I've been on a pretty good heater, to be honest. I had the Brewers and the Mets. So you're talking about I've had 5 postseason games, and they've been pretty sick.
All right, talk to me about the Mets, because this is a Mets phenomenon that I'd never seen. Here we go, the Mets are going to Met. Well, they haven't, and in fact, they've been unbelievable in late innings to the point where when you had that game locked down Sunday to even come back. What are you seeing with this team?
Yeah, there's a lot of fight, a lot of belief. I think it's a good team. It's not a great team. They're not as good as the Phillies. But I think the thing that's really, really hard is, and I would tell you this, in sports in general, and even though I don't live in Philly, I know Philly enough in general. Let's be honest, Philly's a football town. And if you were going to look at things through a football lens, your head's going to explode when people start to talk about small sample size. But in baseball, when we get these small samples, there's going to be variance, there's going to be random, and it's just not going to play out the way you expect it to as frequently in a short series. In a short series, over the course of 5 games, there can be no difference between Mike Trout and Bryson Stott. No disrespect to Bryson Stott, but do you understand my point?
Sure.
They're just so. I don't think that the Mets are as good, but they're certainly capable of taking 2 of the next 3. And I wouldn't sit at the end of it and go, "Oh my God, I'm shocked." But yeah, I think the Phillies are better, not in some humongous fashion, but that's sort of where I am on it. And I think it's going to be a blast.
We're talking to John Sciambi. All right, so. I know baseball, it usually momentum doesn't transfer, and because so much is because of how you pitch in a particular game. But what do you think that game did for the Phillies, if anything, as they come into this game with their second best starter?
I would personally say that game did nothing but get them a game closer to winning the series. I don't think it does anything for tonight, because they are going to go into Citi Field. It's going to be bananas. And then it starts over, and they're going to need Nola to pitch really well. I mean, I would frame it in this regard. It's one of those things where, you could sit there and feel like there's momentum, and there's momentum until Lindor takes Nola deep on the first pitch to the bottom of the first. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the way that it's just weird how this sport can work.
What do you think the manager does here with lefty-righty? A tough lefty, Manaea, comes way from the side, and usually Rob Thompson loads his lineup with right-handed hitters. But coming off of what Stott did, I mean, what do you feel he's going to do with Stott and Marsh in this lineup?
I think Hayes will play. I'm not certain on whether he plays Sosa over Stott. I think Bohm plays, obviously. But I think Hayes plays. I'm not positive. I'm not. I think you push on a good point. Also, I mean, they're both good defenders. So, but I would not be surprised if Stott plays. I think. Look, the other part with the Phils is, I think that for them to win this series, and I think you've seen it. The top of the order is so ferocious. But to win the series, I do think they're probably going to have to get a couple more big hits from 5 through 9, right?
Yeah.
Because it just, I don't think, and I could be wrong, I don't think that they can do it with just Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Castellanos getting all the hits.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, so let's just talk quickly about your career. And just to establish, I'm working with a couple young guys here. My partners, Bill and Ray, are younger, and they have no idea who Boog Powell is. But can you verify that that's where your nickname comes from, the slugging first baseman, the red hair from the Baltimore Orioles?
Yes, so I can verify that. I got it when I first started the business in 1992. I was training to board op on the morning show at WQAM, the all-sports station in Miami. One of the hosts was an Orioles fan. I'm a big redheaded guy. He said, "You look like Boog Powell," and it was done. The next day, over my mailbox, it had John Sciambi. The next day, it said Boog Powell, and it stuck with me. So it's a professional nickname, sort of. And I've gotten to meet Boog a bunch of times, and yeah, for the most part, everybody feels like all us gingers. Although I'm not so ginger anymore, but all us gingers kind of look alike. So that's how.
Yeah, my producer Ray is a ginger, so he has a great reverence for you and your broadcasting career. So here's what I see with you. You deliver a very listenable broadcast. I'm curious how you came up with your particular style, and then how do you assimilate with your color analyst partners? Because I think you and Glanville have really put together a really good partnership.
I will take the second part first, and I appreciate the compliment. It's one of the things. First of all, it's hard. Doug and I go back a long way. We had a mutual friend from Teaneck, New Jersey. So when I was with the Marlins in 1997-8, I went and introduced myself to him. He's kind. He's smart. As a broadcaster, he's interested. He has growth mindset, so he's always curious. So I think that he's the most valuable type because, look, the game has changed, and the analytics are part of it. And Doug is not someone that stands with, I know what I know. He's always curious. And so I think there's a playfulness to him, which is the other part that I love. So what you're getting from us on the air is very similar to off the air. In terms of, my style, I would say the same idea that I'm just trying to give you what I'm like. I think that for the most part, you get a sense for what I'm like off the air by what I'm like on the air. And it took a long time. You're so focused on really being able to nail the mechanics of play-by-play and delivering a good game call. And then once you really settle into the confidence of that, then you're able to deliver, the fun and playfulness. And sometimes, it doesn't land. But like even the other night, there was one that I was giggling about off air that I so wanted to do, but the game was too tight. It's like that giant Citizens Bank ballpark ballpark scoreboard, right? And it's huge and it's magnificent. And there's a little ad for the Philadelphia Zoo on there. And I'm just stuck on it because all I'm thinking to myself is like, everybody's standing there waving their rally towels. It's 2-2 to Harper, and someone's sitting there going, ooh, we should go to the zoo. We haven't been to the zoo in a while, huh? Like, what? So, but anyway, that's my type of nonsense, and I love it. Like, I love tight baseball games, great baseball games, and I love greatness. It's why I like watching Harper so much. Like, you can't take your eyes off this cat. He's been arguably the greatest postseason performer ever, and you can't take your eyes off Lindor either. So I feel lucky that I get to still channel the 5-year-old kid that loved the Phillies and loved baseball, and I still love it just as much. But I like to play, So like that's hopefully what I put across.
All right. So speaking of Harper, and this will be my last question. When Harper comes up, do you subconsciously program yourself for a monster moment?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because it could happen. Listen, let's face it. I mean, he's behind Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig for crying out loud as far as postseason dramatics.
No, that's right. In some way, the answer to your question is yes, because the one thing, I don't want to miss a pitch. Like, I don't want to be behind. So, like, for me, this is really dorky play-by-play, but on the radio, here's how I want it to sound. I want the sound in terms of timing. I don't ever want it to sound like if the ball's hitting the bat, like that's a clap. But I don't want it to be, here's the pitch. I want it to be, here's the pitch. Swinging a fly ball right field. So you need to be in sync and basically a little ahead of things. So when he's up especially, I kind of get locked in on making sure he could hit this pitch out, and he could hit this pitch out, and he could hit this pitch out. So I think that's probably the main thing I'm doing there, not thinking about, the call or what I'm going to say.
I hear you. That's why I said subconsciously that maybe, it's a big moment and maybe a broadcaster gets pumped up for a big moment. But I hear you. Listen, Boog, a tremendous work, and we'll be looking forward to the call tonight and playing a couple of your calls on our show on Wednesday. Thank you so much for coming on, and have a great broadcast.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Mike.
There he is. John Sciambi from ESPN Radio.
Yeah, he does a good job.
He really does.
He does a good job.
He's good. Who's the guy that I like him, and I liked the guy that used to be on Sunday Night Baseball, right? Who stepped away. So he's the Canadian guy from ESPN. He used to do Dan Shulman.
Dan Shock.
Yeah, Dan Shulman's excellent, and Sciambi's good.
Yeah, Sciambi does a good job. And people are saying, why is the Mets broadcaster on? He's not the Mets broadcaster. He works for ESPN, and he does the Cubs games. People are like, oh, why do you have the Mets guy on?
Well, Mets guy.
He's not a Mets guy.
Come on, man. He does national radio with Doug Glanville, and he's done Sunday Night Baseball.
He does a great job. And how about it from Abington area?
Yeah. He was born in Philadelphia. It's very underplayed.
It is.
He was here till 7. I thought that maybe like when he was born, they shuffled him up there to New York.
He said one of the worst days was when the Eagles lost the Super Bowl in 1980.
Yeah, they say that Philly fan. He's a BC guy.
What do you think about BC? Does that bother you, BC?
Well, Boston College?
Yeah. You have any problems with that?
No. I just say he went
You said it like you had a problem.
No, he went to Boston College.
You know who else went to Boston College?
Who's that?
Mike Mamula.
That's right. Mike Mamula, 7th pick in the draft.
Workout warrior, Ray.
He was a workout warrior. He was the definition of a combine workout warrior. Well, he was the standard.
Back then, players didn't really train for the combine. He did, and the Eagles got fooled. Although he wasn't as bad as we remember him to be. He just wasn't worthy of a top 10 pick.
Mr. Football, since we're on the subject of Boston College players, what really good star tight end in the NFL went to Boston College? And I'll give you a hint. Hot tub.
Star tight end, Boston College.
Yes, hot tub.
I'm drawing a blank on this
remember
one.
this scandal? Mark Chamorro.
Oh, I don't remember the scandal,
You don't remember
though.
the scandal?
No. What was the scandal?
The scandal was he was in a hot tub with a bunch of ladies that he shouldn't have been in a hot tub with.
Oh, I'm reading it now.
Yeah.
Legal trouble.
Well, yeah. So what was the story?
On April 8th, 2000, Shimura was accused of sexually assaulting the 17-year-old babysitter.
Yeah, hot tub.
2 days after being acquitted, he acknowledged that his behavior at a post-prom party wasn't something a married man should do. So he was found not guilty, but he acknowledged that it was wrong.
You see the way this show works? We went from Sciambi to Boston College.
To legal troubles of Mark Chmura.
Well, before that, the step before that was
Mike Mamula.
And then
I
we
think
get to Mark Chmura. You see the way Sports Talk Radio works sometimes?
I think my ADD's rubbing off on you is what I think's happening.
I think of Boston College. For somehow, Mark Chmura pops into my head. All right. And you know who also pops in my head? Dana Barros. Before
Now, I don't know that reference.
my brain is so warped. Dana Barros played for the Sixers.
Oh, we're going back.
Well, that was the 90s. We're not back that far.
He wore Allen Iverson's number.
Did he?
I think he was number 3, wasn't he, Dana Barros?
A little guard. Scored a lot of points.
Yeah, number 3.
Let's go to Eric in South Carolina. Eric, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Eric.
Yo, what's up, Mike?
What's going on, Eric?
Chilling. Hey, Mike, I think tonight we're going to have to rely on the bats coming alive more than Nola. And I can kind of see where Bill is coming from when he mentioned putting Cody Clemens in there. I don't know. It seems like every time he in there, like we get like a little spark from him or something like that. So I wouldn't mind seeing that either.
Yeah, but you have to understand the point here. Bill's saying he would use him as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. Now, if you use him as a pinch hitter, he's got to play the field, or you have to use 2 players. You see what I'm saying,
Right.
Eric?
Yeah.
You can't do it. No can do.
I don't know, Mike. It seemed like when that dude was in it, like
I get it,
just
but
seemed like
Eric, I get it. You're looking at one thing, that maybe he gets a hit. You're not looking at the other thing, what the manager has to look at.
Oh yeah, I guess so. But yeah, Mike, what you think?
Don't let him bully you. No, Eric, I'm with you. Cody Clemens, don't tell him he's right.
Yeah, and he botches a fly ball. What's going to happen the next day? Well, Sports Talk Radio. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, Eric.
Hey, Mike. So do we win tonight, Mike? Bill, what you think?
I like him to win tonight. I'm counting on Nola to win. I think Manaea is only a 5-inning pitcher, and they're gonna and their bullpen is not great, so they're gonna have to ride more innings than the Phillies tonight in the pen.
All right, okay. So do we hit tonight? Do we hit?
I think they'll hit enough.
Okay, good.
I think they'll hit enough to win.
That's what I like to hear. All right, fellas. Thank you, man.
All right, buddy. You got it. You know,
I hope you're right about Manaea. You keep saying he's only a 5-inning pitcher. The last time he pitched against the Phils, he went 7.
when was that?
September 21st.
He went 7?
7.
What does he usually do? What are his starts usually like? Average his last 5 starts with the inning. That's your assignment on the break.
All right, I'll average it. I'll average it.
610-632-0975. Todd Zolecki's up in the 11 o'clock hour on the Mike Missanelli Show. 11 o'clock hour of the Mike Missanelli Show is brought to you by Grungo Law, your law firm when you need help because of an injury. Pray for peace, prepare for trial. GrungoLaw.com. Our 10 o'clock hour, always brought to us by Window Nation. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off style on all style windows. Plus, you can make no down payment with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Good deal. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. All right, tonight's ball game. We won't know the lineup probably till later, which is a shame. I always like to see what he's going to do with the lineup, but I am saying that he's gonna go all righty with Sosa. I can't believe it. Well, he'll play Sosa at second base, and he'll play Hayes in left field.
That's not what you want. It's just what you think.
Not what I want. Because, all right, so your homework assignment was to give me what Manaea has done in his starts. How many innings has he lasted?
So in his last 5, his average is about 6 innings, but that's a little bit skewed because he had one where he only went 3 2/3. He has 2 where he went 7, 1 where he went 6 2/3, and 1 where he went 5. So the one that was 3 2/3 skews it a little. But if you take the entire season, it's about 6 innings.
All right, so his break point is in the 6th.
Correct.
Where they usually they get a little jumpy because his pitch total will probably be up. So they may have to use a relief pitcher to get out of the 6th, and then they will need 9 outs from the relief pitcher. I have no idea what condition Diaz is in, so they'll probably have to go to Reed Garrett in there, and who else do they use? I don't even know who they use. Reed Garrett's the guy they use a lot. Do they have any? Well, they use Peterson. I might probably use Peterson in there.
I guess
there's one other right-handed that I'm missing that they use, and it's not a great pen.
It's not.
Right. Who's that right-hander they use? You know?
Well, they use Maton consistently.
That's right, Maton.
That Budo guy.
Budo and Maton. All right, they'll use Budo, Maton, Diaz, and for a left-hander, Peterson.
Do you think? I mean, I guess at this point, they're playing like there's no tomorrow. But with Senga going again in Game 4, they thinking to piggyback again with Peterson there because it worked for them in Game 1.
Maybe they have to withhold Peterson tonight. That's why I like the Phillies. I think their starting pitcher is a little more reliable going deep than the Mets. Phillies have a better bullpen, even though it hasn't shown itself. The Mets are going to have to survive with at least 9 outs for their bullpen.
Yeah, and Manaea pitched in the wild card against Milwaukee. He went 5. So you're right. If they
get a short hook on Manaea, they're not going to. If he gets in any trouble, boom, or he gets a high pitch count, boom, he's out.
Yeah, and with the game, no rest day. I mean, both teams want their starter to go because you want to try to save your bullpen. But you're right. If the Phillies can get to the Mets bullpen, advantage Phillies. But we'll see. What Phillies team shows up, Mike? The Phillies team from Game 1 or the Phillies team from innings 6 through 9 of Game 2?
To keep it loose and to alleviate the stress, based on our discussion about Boston College, it has made me think that we should play Give Me 3 today. Now, you guys don't know what Give Me 3 is. In fact, I had forgotten about what Give Me 3 is. But now it's coming into focus. So every caller, I will either give you a college or a city. And you got to give me the first 3 athletes that pop into your head.
I like it.
So if I gave you Boston College, where are you going?
Boston College. I would go Mike Mamula.
That's the first guy you would think of, Mike Mamula.
Yeah, well, really,
he's in your head.
The first guy.
We talked about it. There's one quintessential guy
from Boston College.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not good with the colleges, man. I'm not good with the colleges.
Right. Boston College.
Doug Flutie.
Oh, of course, Doug Flutie.
Yeah, I mean, the guy that really comes to my mind first, but I didn't want to say it because it's depressing and sad, is Johnny Gaudreau. Because I remember him when he played at Boston College. But yeah, that's who comes to my mind. But you're right.
At Boston University.
No, he played at Boston College.
He played at Boston College?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Okay.
Well, now you're making me second guess it.
Yeah, all right. Boston College?
Yeah, Boston College Eagles.
All right.
But yeah, Doug Flutie. Sorry about that.
All right. Doug Flutie. I go Doug Flutie, Dana Barros, and Zay Flowers. Ooh. How about that pull?
That's a good one.
I got Matt Ryan
Matt Ryan is excellent.
There he is, local guy, too.
Local guy. All right, so if I say to you, I'll go cities, but first of all, I'm going to go another college since we're in that corridor. Syracuse.
Donovan McNabb.
McNabb.
Ray, you got one?
Carmelo.
Mello.
And you finish us off.
DC. Derek Coleman.
It's going back.
Wow, Michael Carter Williams a snub here.
I like this game. All right, so first of all, people call in for this. But, Mike, I still have no idea where the fan base is with this Phillies team. We didn't learn anything yesterday from our callers. Are they confident or not? Because
this is an indication that they're not. It's a total indication they're not. They're sitting down today trying to, they have no idea how this is going to turn out.
It's kind of how I feel,
They really
too,
don't.
I don't really have a feel
agree.
either.
Listen, I'm confident they win this game. I really am behind Nola. I think they have an edge. But the fans don't know what happened Sunday did not wipe away what happened Saturday for this fan base.
No,
it has put them in a state of complete flux about what's going to happen for the rest of this series. And you can tell. You can tell. I mean, you feel the vibes that we're doing this show. I feel those kind of vibes that people don't know what to say. They don't want to call and say, I don't feel good about this because that puts a jinx on the Phillies, right? Or they don't want to say, I feel good about it because that also puts a jinx.
But this is a safe place. So if you are nervous and you want to talk about it, because I'm a little nervous. I don't know what to expect because we're hoping, to your point, like that Aaron Nola comes out tonight and pitches well.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing. I don't think if they lose this game, the series is over.
Oh,
I really do not think the series is over. Now, I know that sounds weird because they would have to have a great effort from Ranger Suarez.
Yeah.
But I think they will get 5 innings out of Suarez, and I think they will battle their way to win a game 4, which brings it back to Wheeler in a clincher. That's why I think, as much as I would love them to take control of the series, I don't think the series is over, even if they lose tonight.
You see, I don't have, and I love Ranger Suarez. And what he did last season in the postseason, the season before in the postseason was amazing. He's not the same guy right now. So to say you have confidence that Ranger gives you a good outing tomorrow.
5.
But what have you seen from Ranger?
It's a hunch.
In his last few outings?
It's just a hunch. I think they're going to be able to get 5 out of him with him giving up 3 runs. And I think the Phillies will have to outscore them, but I don't think drastically. I don't think he's going to get routed.
All right. I'd rather not have to worry about it. I'd rather Nola
I hear you.
pitch the gem tonight. You know what surprised me is we hear a lot about how big Citi Field is. And you know the Mets hit the 6th most home runs this year as a home team. They had 106 home runs at Citi Field. The Phillies only had 112 at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah.
So it's not that hard of a ballpark to hit home run.
Mm-hmm.
And what does Nola give up?
Home runs.
Gives up home runs. So that's where I'm nervous.
He's given up 5 to Alonso.
Nola cannot afford to give up the long ball time.
5 runs to Alonso. And you know, it's funny, they have a college connection. He was pitching for LSU, and then Alonso played for Florida. So he's seen him a lot.
I don't want to see that nerd running around the bases tonight. He'd be the last guy, I think.
Let's go around. Let's play cool or uncool. All right? Let's start with the Mets.
Yeah.
Alonso.
Extremely
not cool.
Extremely uncool.
Jose Iglesias.
I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, he's
Guy
probably
Singer, talented musician.
Guy
Cool.
who can sing.
Cool.
That's why I don't want to give Mets credit, but he's probably cool.
Okay. Lindor.
Lindor's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
And here's what defines his coolness. When he hit that home run against the Brewers, that monster home run, he didn't go crazy.
Barry Sanders did.
He did.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool.
You've been there before. That's how you act.
Vientos.
Vientos has been pretty cool in this series.
Right? Cool or uncool as a guy?
I guess I don't want to hand it to him.
Probably cool, right?
Yeah, he
He's probably
He puts on a Mets jersey every day.
Alvarez, the catcher.
He's a nerd.
Not cool.
Yeah, he's a nerd.
You know, with the crosses with the black eye.
What is
Yeah.
that? That bothers
Yeah,
me.
Yeah, come on.
Or people who put the numbers now.
The black eye. The eye black. The black eye.
Yeah, the eye black.
The eye black with the crosses. Not cool.
It's too much.
All right, let's move on to left field. Nimmo.
Nimmo's a nerd.
Yeah, not cool. Nimmo.
No.
The center fielder, I don't know who to play in center field. Harrison Bader or Tyrone Taylor.
Yeah.
Nothing cool about those guys. And in right field,
Marte was cool in
Marte.
Pirates.
Cool?
Back in the day.
You got cool with Marte?
Back in the day.
I kind of like it too because he got thumped with that pitch on the forearm and he didn't cause any fanfare. So I'll go cool for him. We'll do the pitching staff and then we'll go through the Phillies. 610-632-0975. Todd Zolecki's coming up at 11:20. Mike Missanelli Show. the end of the ninth inning.
I hope you're right.
Mike Missanelli Show, 610-62-0975. Todd Zolecki coming up in about 3 minutes. Don't go anywhere. You know, sometimes things are said on the show and it tweaks my brain into stories. Like Ray brought up the name Michael Carter Williams. He was Rookie of the Year, right, Ray?
Oh, he was.
He was Rookie of the Year.
That he was.
Well, he had a career
You can't take that from
went
him.
down the toilet really quickly. But here's my Michael Carter Williams story. So many years ago, Ray, when I was a reporter covering college basketball, Temple University had gotten a commitment from McDonald's All-American Rick Brunson, Salem, Massachusetts. So they go, Mike, go up there and do a story on it. It's like a rare breed at McDonald's All-American at Temple. You go up there and do a feature on it. So I go up. I hang out with him and his family for a while because it's the best way to do features. You just hang in there. You just don't sit down for a quick interview and leave. You just get to know the landscape about what he's all about.
Yeah.
So he says to me, Saturday we had this pickup game at Salem College. Did you bring your sneakers? I go, yeah. He goes, do you want to play? Now, this is when I could play some basketball a little bit, right? So I'm thinking, okay, this is just going to be a middling pickup game and, like half court or whatever. I get to the gym, and there's all these college players. One of them is Michael Carter Williams' father.
Stud?
I swear to God, I've never been run that ragged in my life. I mean, these guys are going up and down, like dunking, and it was silly. But Michael Carter Williams' father was a good player. Unbelievable.
Earl Williams.
Earl Williams.
I'm looking him up now. His parents met while the two were both basketball players at Salem State University.
There you go. Salem State University. That's where we played.
Yeah, that's why his dad was so good.
How about that? Well, anyway.
But you could shoot.
Listen, in a full court game with college players who are dunkable play, like my tongue was hanging out. Those guys who get it off the glass and bang, and then down the floor. I'm going, dudes.
I can only imagine because we used to.
I'm trying to guard a college player who's, I'm what am I in my 35 maybe at the time.
Yeah, I can only imagine because we used to do pickup games at Gettysburg, and it was Division III basketball players, and it wasn't easy.
No, these guys are all D1 players.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine
from the Boston area. They're playing this pickup game on Saturday morning. I go, Rick, what you got me into, brother? He was a high school senior playing against these college dudes. All right, let's go to Felix in North. Oh, wait, no, we got to tell Todd. Todd is on the line. All right, so tonight up at Citi Field, big game 3. This is a game that will turn the series which way, but loose. And the man who covers the Phillies for MLB.com joins us, the great Todd Zolecki. Todd, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how are you, Mike?
Good, doing good. First of all, do you have any inkling of the lineup tonight? Because that's what we're talking about tonight, whether he would go all righty with Hayes back in the lineup and Sosa at second base. What do you think?
I would, if I had to put money on it, Mike, I would say that both of those guys start tonight. And I know that might drive some people nuts because Stott had that big triple in Game 2. But I feel like you need to go for every edge you possibly can go, and Sosa's splits against righties are so much better than Stott's, and Hayes' splits versus lefties is so much better than anybody else. So I almost feel like you have to put those guys in the lineup. I guess it's possible he could say, you know what, I'm going to go off of Stott's and try to build Stott's confidence and keep him in there after that big hit. But, man, they didn't do too well against Manaea last time, so they need every edge they can get.
All right, so does that mean Rojas plays center also?
I would think so, yeah. Nola's a fly ball guy, and that's a huge outfield. So, and if you're going to have Hayes in left and you have Castellanos in right, I think you got to have somebody that can run down some balls in center field and in the gaps. And Rojas is a better center fielder than Brandon Marsh.
All right, so obviously this series is wacky. What happened Saturday night and how it started Sunday with fans just ready to completely bail out. And you feel it too, right? At Harper, it's the shot that goes around the world, and they're back in it, but then they don't have the lead, and they get the lead. I mean, that was as crazy a game as you could ever see. And covering a game, I guess that ranks up there, right?
Oh, 100%. My head was spinning. And in fact, at one point during the game, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to write right now. Just from your writing days, like you start writing a story one way, and then something happens, and you start writing it that way, and you're like, oh crap, I got to blow that up. So I was just scrambling as that game went on, and it was as wild can be. They had the 2-run lead going into the top of the ninth, and I'm sitting there going, okay, let me write this, bang this out, and then boom, Matt Strong gets up the home run. And, had to start from scratch all over again. That was as wild as a game as I've ever seen.
It's uncanny the way the Mets have performed towards the second half of this year. It's not something I'm used to. It's probably not something you're used to in covering the old Mets because the Mets do Met. But it's unbelievable how unfettered they are. What do you see with this? Like Sunday is a game that would crunch another team usually, winning in that fashion. But I don't see that happening to the Mets. Where was this transition? How did it come about?
Yeah, they had like a meeting earlier this year, and I guess Francisco Lindor spoke up, and kind of they started to become more accountable. But you are right. In the past, it just seemed there was kind of a loserish vibe to the Mets, in that they would kind of fold, something bad would happen, they would collapse, and I think even Mets fans would agree to that. Like a couple of years ago, they won over 100 games, and they didn't sell out Game 3 of the wild card series because they almost led wire to wire. They blew the division title down the stretch, and everybody's like, "Oh, they're going to blow this. I know it. They're going to blow this." They didn't sell out Game 3 of that wild card series against the Padres and lost the series. So I think Mets would agree with that assessment as well. But now they just seem to be unbowed by anything that happens to them. And so I would not expect. I feel like as bad as that loss was, as gut-wrenching as that loss was for the Mets and Mets fans, they also go, we've got home field advantage now in the best-of-3 series, and they like their chances because of that.
I'm looking at this game tonight, and to me, it's got to play out where Nola delivers at least 7 for them. And Manaea, who, they have a trigger on, they look at his pitch count, 5, 6. The Phillies have the edge in the bullpen if those bullpen guys go back to where they are. I mean, do you see that as a key that maybe Nola has to get them through and they have the edge with the bullpen or no longer?
Yeah, no, I still think I still tend to think that those were just 2 really bad games from the bullpen at the 2 worst times you could possibly have them going into the postseason. If Jeff Hoffman and Matt Strahm go out there tonight, I still would have a lot of confidence in them. But you're right. I think they need Nola to pitch as well as he has pitched historically at Citi Field. Historically, he's been very, very good there. And I asked him yesterday if there's anything to pitching in that ballpark. He said, no, I just like pitching here. It's a big ballpark. Maybe that helps him out a little bit. But the good thing for Phillies fans is that Aaron Nola has like 0 pulse. I mean, I'm sure you've seen him like in enough post-game interviews and just interviews in general. You never know if he gave up 6 runs in 3 innings or pitched a shutout. I mean, he's the same guy all the time, and that's a big reason why I think they had Sanchez pitch Game 2 and Nola pitch Game 3, because they're like, we know this guy is not going to be rattled by any boos or any loud noises at Citi Field.
Your story yesterday zeroes in on Harper and how big he is in the postseason. But in New York, now I don't know. You know the vibe better in Citi Field. I don't know when it's packed how it is. I know what it's like here. But your suggestion is that he's the perfect guy to respond in a hostile environment at Citi Field.
Yeah. I do believe that, and I know his numbers since he got to the Phillies at Citi Field are not good, but he really does. Anytime you ask him about being booed or being taunted or fans yelling, awful things to him, he kind of seems to enjoy it a little bit, and I think he does enjoy going into New York and putting a hurt on the Mets and making New Yorkers upset and angry. And so he's definitely one who, in this environment tonight and then tomorrow night as well, is not going to kind of shrivel up by a hostile environment. In fact, the idea for that story was somebody asked him about getting the momentum back. This is after Game 2 on Sunday night. And he was like, yeah, obviously we'd love to go to New York up 2-0, but we're going into New York 1-1. And then he kind of paused for a moment, and he kind of chuckled and smiled and said, it's going to be crazy there. It's going to be hostile, but we're looking forward to that. And I know he's looking forward to it because he does. I mean, think about it. He's been booed. He's had parents booing him since he was like 12 years old in travel ball. So, this is something that he has lived with literally his entire baseball career.
Talking to Todd Zolecki, he covers Phillies, MLB.com. All right, so Alec Boehm, I'm reading a headline here. I think it's an Inquirer headline. Alec Boehm says his benching was a little surprising, but he isn't pouting. Well, that's exactly what he did. He was kind of sulking in the outfield before that game because he wasn't in the lineup. Where is he right now, in your opinion? And you've covered him all year. I don't know what to make of him half the time with the pouting.
Yeah, I don't know either. And I think that, Rob said that he started Edmundo Sosa because he wanted to put some energy into the lineup. And I guess I kind of agree with that, or I kind of can see that. But I also think that it was just his body language over the past couple of weeks. How many times have we seen him just spike his helmet into the turf and have the C-flap come flying off the face guard off the helmet? Several times, I would say, at least 2 or 3 times in the past couple of weeks he's done that. And I think Rob maybe, wanted to sit him down and go, listen, this is not just about you right now. You need to come in and produce for this team. And so you're right. Even talking to him yesterday on the field after batting practice, he's pretty quiet anyway, but it's really hard to kind of read where his mind is at. But I guess he did say the right things. He said that, it's not about me, it's about the team. And, right now it's kind of good because I can get confidence from my teammates and all of that. But there's no doubt they need him to come in today and put together some good at-bats in a lineup that is just full of chase and swing and miss. He's one of the guys that can put the bat on the ball and hit the ball the opposite way. And in an outfield like this, that ball has a chance of going all the way to the wall.
Yeah, I don't understand his behavior because he's old enough now to be past that kind of 28, 29 and acting like that. Does not serve him well. And I'm surprised that, like the leadership in the clubhouse has still has not had that kind of effect on him.
Yeah, they've certainly talked to him about it. Actually in New York, the last time they were in New York, late in the season, we were talking with Bryce post game. It was after a loss, and we mentioned Alec Boehm. And he says, this guy has to give himself some grace coming back from the injured list. In other words, he is taking these at-bats coming off the IL way too hard and letting them affect him way too much. So it's not like they're not talking to him about it, but I guess the message hadn't really seeped through. But maybe that benching, in Game 2 will finally kind of clear his mind.
I'll see. All right, last question. Do you have any kind of feel for tonight's result?
I don't. I still think the Phillies are going to win the series. I do. I just think they're a better team. And I think what they said, what JT Realmuto said after Game 2 made a lot of sense, which is when Bryce hit that home run in the 6th inning, we all kind of relaxed and felt we could breathe. He said, for some reason, we just kind of came into this series too tight, and the at-bats of the 6th inning were way too tight. And so I think maybe now they've kind of relaxed, and they'll just, the hope is that they have a better approach at the plate.
All right, Todd Zolecki, MLB.com. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. Have a good evening tonight.
Thanks, man. You too. Take care.
All right, there he is. Todd Zolecki, covering baseball in this town for a really long time.
Yeah, and that article that you referenced about Harper, it is interesting, his struggles at Citi Field since he's been a Philly.
Yeah.
It almost doesn't make sense.
You're right. It doesn't make sense because he does get pumped up. He loves to snap back at the crowds, and it almost pumps him more up as a player that to be hated because he's dealt with it for so long.
And Zolecki puts in the article, when he was with the Nationals, he was great at Citi Field. But since he's come to Philadelphia, he's batting .191, only 2 home runs.
And Manaea is the type of guy who can give him trouble.
So someone's going to have to well, let me ask you. Do you think Manaea even pitches to him? Or do you think they try to stay away from him?
I think Manaea will pitch to him with the lefty dynamic. I don't think he'll be afraid of him. I think Manaea, if I'm the Mets, Manaea, you have to get him out. That's why you're the lefty that has to get him out.
Bryce has 11 at-bats against Manaea. He's 4 for 11.
That's better than I thought.
Yeah, he's batting .364, 1 home run, 2 doubles, and a single.
He's batting.
Yeah, I'm sticking to that.
All right.
That's going to be my thing.
Say what he's batting. Okay.
I'm going to do my MO. Actually, if you're out there, I want to hear from you on the text board. Do you say batting or hitting? 610-632-0975. I want some support here. Batting or hitting?
All right. I hit an 86 on the golf course the other day.
Different sport. You shot an 86. I'm with you on that.
Okay. 610-632-0975. We'll play Give Me 3 if you want to play. I think Give Me 3 is fun. We'll give you a city, first 3 sports guys that come into your head. We'll have some fun today. Lighten the load. Mike Missanelli Show continues. And all of a sudden now, Crossing Broad picked it up. This was the guy that I was talking about. Now, you're going to hear this, and you're going to hear his claim, but in fact, his claim was faulty because I watched that whole confrontation. He stood up. He had seats right kind of behind the dugout. He stood up, and he tried to cause mayhem with Philly fans. He had his back to the field and towards the fans, and he was agitating all the fans. Now, you know, when Philly fans get agitated, when they're in a bad mood and they're losing, it's like poking a bear. And so I saw a guy, I swear to God, I was waiting for a haymaker to come. I was waiting for the punch. And instead, the guy put his hand to shake his hand, and he pulled it away, and it flipped off his hat. At that point, I thought the Mets guy was going to swing. So anyway, they finally got the security people down there to escort him out. And as he's being escorted out, he's videoing himself making a claim that he got ejected for no reason. Here it was.
They want me out of here. Let them know. Why you want me out of here? Why you want me out of here? All I did was root for my team. All I did was root for my team. Y'all bugging. Y'all bugging. Let's go Mets! Let's go Mets! Let's go Mets! Let's go Mets! They kicking me out for being a Mets fan. Let's go Mets! 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 Out of here! Out of here! Out of here! Let's go Mets! Let's go Mets! Let's go Mets! Let's go Mets!
All right, so as he's being walked up, and he's walked up like where my row was, I thought sure that somebody was going to tackle him or something. You know, like the security guys they weren't manhandling him. There wasn't police. They were just a couple of security guys that were trying to get him up there.
Was that him or you screaming, "Let's go Mets"? Do we know, Ray?
No word on Mikey Met.
It wasn't Mikey Met. It was the guy, and I thought the Philly fans showed great restraint. Now I would have ripped him had they tackled him, but you know how people's tempers get frayed when it was a miserable time.
Yeah. At what point in the game was that?
It was the game still had a couple innings to go.
Were the Phils still up 1-0 at that point?
It was Saturday.
Yeah, they had a win.
No, they were losing.
They were losing the game.
They were losing the game. Yeah. That's why he was acting up. They were losing the game, and it was getting late, and he had an edge on people.
Yeah, he's very lucky because you're right. When Philadelphia fans are agitated, really anywhere, when fans are agitated,
poking the bear, and but at that time, I'm thinking some wild man is going to throw a haymaker at the guy. And even when they were bringing him up the thing, I should have videoed it really, but I was waiting for somebody to slug him as he's coming up the stairs. It's a miracle that guy got away without a fight.
It is always nice though that the opposing team guy gets thrown out. Even though it sounds like this
guy was really asking for it.
Yeah, it sounds like this one was worthy of it.
Yeah, I mean, he was digging into people, and he's had his back to the field, and he was just, come on, man. You want to take me on? Come on. And I thought some wild man was going to take him on. All right, let's go to Felix in Northeast Philly. Felix, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Felix.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
What's up, Felix?
If it wasn't a playoff game, someone would have slugged them.
Well, I don't know why would the playoff game. In fact, the stakes were higher.
If you're putting out.
I thought the stakes were higher that they would have slugged him in a playoff game.
The whole game. Well, I get it, but if you're putting out so much money to watch the game, you're not going to let a Met fan ruin it. Send you home because of a dumb Met fan.
But Philly fans, you remember, they walked out of that game in the 8th inning, so it was close to the 8th inning when this guy was doing it. And they were totally down on the Phillies at that point, Philly fans.
But that doesn't speak for everyone, though.
Oh, I hear you, and I'm happy it didn't happen because it would have been, all over social media and the networks.
So I want to talk about the game. I want to do the give me three, and then I have something off topic I just want to bring up real quick.
Yeah.
So I would walk Marte every single time he bats tonight. Because as a Phillies fan, you see Nola at his best. You see Nola at his worst.
Marte hasn't really hurt him, though,
It
has
takes
he?
one. Yeah, he's batting like 350 off of him.
Well, but not in the series. They had him hitting.
I mean,
They had him
yeah.
hitting seventh in Saturday's game.
I get it, but he's had his number. And if they're not going to pitch that to Hart, I don't want to pitch to him.
Okay.
I'll pitch to Alonso. I'll pitch to everyone else. I can't let this guy, Nola, and the Phil. It's just one of these guys that always has his number.
All right,
I don't
hold
know
on a
why.
second. He's 2 for 7 against them with 2 home runs lifetime. Oh no, I'm sorry. He's
He's
that's
11 for
Ketel
30.
Marte.
11 for 31.
He's 11. All right, so he's 11 for 31. I was looking at Ketel
I mean,
Marte.
still, he only has one
That's
home run.
startling.
One home run against him in 31 at bats. He is batting 355, but it's not. I mean, I'm more afraid of Alonso with his 5 homers.
No, you're right. Marte does
Don't throw it
team.
down the middle.
Marte hits 345 off him. You're right. With only 1 home run though, 29 at bats.
And it's all, I don't want to, and especially that he's at the bottom of the lineup, I don't want to give him that urge to get to the top.
Yeah.
And just walk him, give him the base. Okay.
Yeah, I got. I'm not walking. I'm not walking him. I'm not walking him. I mean, he's got
Let's
one.
say he hits a double.
He's got 2 doubles and a home run and 29 at bats off him. So it's not like
It's a lot of singles.
yeah. All right, man. You want to play
So
Give Me
let's say
3?
he gets a double.
Let's play Give Me 3,
let's-
Felix. All right, I'm going to give you a city. Give me the first 3 that pop into your head. Cincinnati.
All right. We got Burrow, we got Palmer, and we got Pete Rose.
You got Carson Palmer. Interesting. All right, so he went Burrow, Palmer, and Rose. I would have never had Carson Palmer in there. I had Rose, Bench, and Icky Woods.
Okay, I got to know the rules now. See, I thought when you said the city that they had to be
first.
from there, so they could just have played there.
Yeah, how do I know where they're from?
I don't know. Well, because
They played in the city. I don't consider birthright. That would be impossible.
that becomes easier. Yeah, I was worried.
Okay.
Like, this is going to be hard.
No.
It's going to be hard knowing where people are
Cincinnati,
from.
First 3 sports names that pop in your head when I give you the Cincinnati.
TJ Hushmanzada,
Oh, that's a bust out name. TJ Hushmanzada.
Chad Ochocinco,
Chad Ochocinco.
and Corey Dillon.
See how he's all football oriented. He has no concept
All
that,
football,
that
baby.
other sports are even played in that city. All right, Ray, what do you got?
Joey Votto,
Joey Votto.
That's a good one.
Brandon Phillips,
Brandon Phillips.
and Jamar Chase.
Who's Brandon Phillips?
The second baseman for the Reds?
Brandon Phillips.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the one that comes to a lot of people's minds. Not that you're wrong.
What are you, Brandon Phillips?
Yeah, Brandon
What an
Phillips.
obscure name is possible.
What do you mean Brandon Phillips is an obscure
Brandon
name?
Phillips.
He's a 3-time All-Star, a 4-time Gold Glover.
Jesus. All right.
You had me thinking I was misremembering the second baseman for the Reds for
Brandon Phillips.
like a decade there.
That is an obscure reference, brother. I'll give you that.
It is obscure. But Jamar Chase is not obscure.
No.
See how
Chase
good that
is-
guy
yeah.
looked this
Jamar
weekend?
Chase is solid. Beats TJ Hushmanzada, but I'll give you credit for that one. That's a bust-out name.
That was a great name.
That is a
Hushmanzada.
tremendous pull by you. And he had that hair pulled back.
Yeah, he
You
did.
know, that greased hair pulled back.
That was. I thought the Bengals with that team had a shot, and then Carson Palmer blows out his ACL on the touchdown pass against the Steelers. Remember that?
Burrow, Palmer, and Pete Rose he went. That's pretty solid, but Boomer got the snub there. He went Carson Palmer over Boomer.
Boomer Esiason.
All right.
You remember him more as a Bengal or a Jet?
Bengal, actually.
Yeah.
Mark and Conshohocken. Mark, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Mark,
Hey, what's going on, guys?
what's going on, buddy?
Look, I'm feeling good about the Phillies. The only thing that I'm worried about is Nola giving up like a home run in the first inning. I do think the bats are awake, but I just can't have him going out there and getting rocked in the first or second inning. I just feel like he's prone to doing that, and he's such a solid pitcher, like you said. Like, he should be able to give you 7, no problem. But I'm just worried that the first inning it's going to be like 28 to 34 pitch count, and it's like now he's got to work ahead of that on the next couple innings to make sure he can go the length of the game.
Yeah.
But I don't know that the rest and stuff. I feel like he hasn't rested this long in like a playoff series, so I don't think it should hurt him. I think he's pretty solid at doing that, but it just worries me.
No, you're absolutely right about the home runs because in the third inning he'll give up a couple home runs like out of the blue.
Yeah, but overall I feel good. I'm actually going to the game tomorrow at Citi Field. I'm gonna.
Oh, nice.
I think I'm gonna wear my Ranger Danger shirt. I'd probably wear a hoodie there, and then when I get settled in my seat, rep it.
Well, are they hostile at Citi Field?
I don't know.
I think maybe Yankee fans are more hostile than Mets fans.
Yeah, if the Phillies start beating on them, though, I'm sure they'll be crazy. But, yeah.
All right, man.
But yeah, I'll do that. Can I do that game?
All right, give me 3. The city is Atlanta.
All right. How about Kirk Cousins? Like, can I do current players on the football team?
He's
not really.
I can't give you Cousins. The rules are you can't take a guy from this team, the current team.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about Julio Jones? Shout out to the Eagles.
Julio Jones, okay.
All right. I'll do Julio. Let's see.
Ray actually gave you one earlier.
I'm just gonna
with our BC
trying to stay
question.
away from some Braves. All right. I'll just stick with Julio. I'll just go one.
Just one? No. No, one. Just one.
It's not give me one. It's give me 3.
It's called give me 3.
One. I gave you the best answer.
You can't think of 3 guys that played in Atlanta?
I mean, I can.
I mean, come on. Atlanta eliminated the Sixers 3 years ago.
Kirk Cousins, Julio, and
Kirk Cousins already scratched. Stop it.
Oh, man. Mark.
You're coming up real small, Mark.
I know. I just wanted to get my Phillies.
Oh, get out.
Man.
Get out.
He's looking for the name. You're looking for Trae Young.
You're banished.
There's so many you could go with in Atlanta.
Clint Capella.
I'd go
Matt Ryan.
I would go Trae Young, Maddox, and Smoltz.
Dan Ugla.
No Chipper.
Chipper Jones?
I get Chipper.
Ender Inciarte.
There's a lot in Atlanta.
And there's Ciarte. And Dan Ugla played for them for half an hour.
The crime dog?
The crime dog.
Remember Fred McGriff?
Yeah, of course.
David Justice?
There you go.
I hated those Braves
David
teams,
Justice,
though.
the star of Moneyball.
Yeah, he was. Those Braves teams, man. What, they only win 1 World Series back then with that pitching staff? It's wild.
There's David Justice and Moneyball eating cereal when Hatterberg comes in. He goes, so how you enjoying first base? Well, it's a process. Well, what's your biggest fear? The ball literally being hit to me. That's funny. No, really. The ball. Hey, he walks away. Well, good luck with that. 610-632-0975. Back after this. It's noontime hour of the Mike Missanelli Show. Brought to you by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing, 72 months, $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. It is now time, ladies and gentlemen, for something we do every day at this time on your lunch hour to entertain you. We go to our producer, Ray Dunn, who has uncovered some brilliant little stories, and it's called The News at Noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the News at Noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, Ray, what do we have today?
We got some fun with Pat Bev coming up at the end of this segment. But to start, I've got some sports talk radio stuff for you.
Awesome.
Because two wonderful rants that I want to play for you. The first one is really a guilty pleasure of mine. I really do enjoy broken SEC fans calling Paul Feinbaum. It's one of my favorite things to uncover on the internet. And after Alabama loses to Vanderbilt, you were guaranteed to get a lot of it. The Bama fans not doing well with this one. Legend from Alabama is a legendary caller to Paul Feinbaum and went on a nearly 5-minute-long rant, almost totally uninterrupted, on the Paul Feinbaum Show. Here's some of the highlights of an upset Alabama fan.
I never thought I would utter these words. Vandy is my daddy. Can you believe that? Vandy is my daddy. Do you hear that, Coach DeBoer? That don't piss you off, dude? Let me say this to all Alabama fans, because I've caught some flack today, and I can take it. That's why they call me the legend. I can take it. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. I love the kitchen. So let's get that right. And get this right. Alabama don't lose to Vandy. We don't lose to Vandy. That is friggin' pathetic, Coach DeBoer. 40 years, dude. 40 years. Strike friggin' one, dude. Strike friggin' one. The honeymoon's not only over, but we need some serious marriage counseling between me and you, dude. You know what this is equivalent to, brother? You know what this is equivalent to?
What's up?
This is equivalent to coming home and finding your wife in bed with the neighbor. This is what this is equivalent to, Paul. And I say this for this. Me and K-Dub both agree. You could never trust her again. You might stay with her for the kids' sake, but you could never trust the woman again. And the same thing's true with Coach DeBoer. You can win a natty. We can't trust your ass now.
Well, interesting. My only problem with Alabama losing to Vanderbilt was that Nick Saban wasn't coaching Alabama, because I would be the reporter who would go, Nick, today, you think it was a coaching problem today?
And he would say, come on, dude.
All right, there you go.
Coach DeBoer.
Yeah. Come on, dude.
He compared it to coming home and finding his wife in bed with the neighbor.
Yeah, that might be a little far-fetched.
Well, but he explained it.
That would be a little worse, I think.
But he did explain it. It's because you may stay with her, but you can't trust her.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. If you came home and found your wife in bed with another man, what would you do?
Well, that would never happen. Love you, babe. But yeah, no. I'm out.
Love you, babe.
I'm out.
Love you. I love you, babe. Mike said that. I didn't say it.
That was Mike, babe.
Okay,
No.
so what would you do? Would you tune him up?
Would I tune him up?
Yeah.
If I knew the guy, then I would tune him up.
You knew the guy. If you didn't know the guy, you'd say, it's time for you to leave?
If I didn't know the guy, what am I mad at him for?
Because he's in bed with your wife. I know it's her fault, but still he deserves a beating.
If he didn't know she was married, how are you mad at the guy? Now, if you knew the guy and he knew that she was married, now you should be mad at the guy.
It's like that scene in Heat. Ralph, sit down!
Heat's got one of the best shootout scenes, man.
He goes for he brings something else.
You said
up.
Heat.
Are you going to the shootout?
Well, staying with Sports Talk Radio, on to our next piece of news at noon.
Amazing the way you just go for like something completely different.
Hold on.
All right.
This morning, Boston College came up, and you went down a crazy rat hole.
Sorry, we're moving on. Moving on.
Go ahead, Ray.
Did a little eavesdropping on Cleveland Sports Radio following another disaster of a game. Safe to say they are not too pleased. This is from the late morning show out there, 8:50 a.m. Cleveland.
I'm talking to everybody in the building. this morning. Everybody. You, Paul. You, Jimmy. You, Andrew. And, of course, Kev. All of you. You ruined a season. You ruined it. You ruined it. The tinkering, the constant analytics of this and that, it's not working, man. It's not working. As a fan, I want you to know I'm done. Week 6, done. I didn't want to watch your product. You could be the worst team in football right now. You could be. If not, you're right there at the bottom of it all. And why? And why? To prove a point about a trade? Come on, man. Come on, man. Who's making the decisions over there? You had the 10th best offense in the league last year, and you had to blow it up. Why? Because Flacco looked good and your guy didn't? Who cares? Who's keeping score? The score is on the scoreboard.
Thank you for clearing that one
I
up.
don't know who that guy is, but he's an idiot to think that you're not going to play a guy that you put all those resources. Now, he could be done, but it's not like you can't. You choose Joe Flacco over him. Come on.
They've reached pining for Joe Flacco territory.
It's ridiculous.
It's bad there, man. I mean, it's bad. With Deshaun Watson, they're averaging 143 passing yards a game. 143.
That guy's name?
Tony Rizzo.
Tony Rizzo?
Part of one of their morning shows out there. Yeah.
Come on.
Bill, so help me if your boy doesn't have this team ready to play the Browns.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I don't usually care about style points. Eagles need to dominate on Sunday. This Browns team is terrible.
Now, speaking of your boy, I'll take this to another very unpopular coach in this town. Pat Bevpod got talking about the Bucks, and Patrick Beverly had some thoughts about Doc Rivers.
Phillies fans make.
They trying to slander Doc. I don't know. I seen some coaching rankings. They had Doc 22, dog, almost through my phone, dog. This man is Phil Jackson, this Doc Rivers, man. They got to put more respect on my coach name. They got to, bro. It's getting, like, disrespectful. They wouldn't do Phil Jackson like that. Like, why they doing Doc like that? It's wild. It's wild. It's really wild.
Are you kidding me, Pat?
He just gave the Phil Jackson reference?
My coach? Like, what did he do with the Clippers when he was your coach? Pat Bev, I hate him.
You got.
He's conned everybody into, like, he's this personality that we need to hear from, and not only that, but that he's somehow a good basketball player. Stop it with it with that phoniness. All right,
yeah,
that'll do it for the news at noon for today.
Good job, Ray, as always.
Very nice job. All right, let's take a quick break. On the other side, I got something I want to play that could have been in the news at noon. A head coach of a college football, nationally ranked team, by the way, talking about a bad runway. That's coming up. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. Back after this. city, give me the first three sports names that pop up into your brain. I was watching. Let's deal with this one first because I just looked at the Penn State is at USC this weekend, and the Penn State's only a 4.5-point favorite. That tells me they could be upset. But James Franklin, the head coach, was lamenting the fact that they have to drive, they have to bus to Harrisburg to take a plane out of Harrisburg because the airport and the plane is bigger and the runway is bigger. Apparently, the airport in State College is not adequate enough for the big plane that they need to travel to the West Coast. Here was Franklin analyzing his game coming up with USC.
Your second part of your question is a big part of us leaving on Thursday is we cannot fly out of State College. So that was a big part of our discussions with the Big Ten when all this thing got started, is not only are we one of the most northeast schools, but based on runway length, size of plane, weight of plane, fuel on plane, we can't get out of here unless we would stop for fuel. With that, we got to fly out of Harrisburg. So, to me, that's one of the things I think we have to discuss is increasing the size of the runway here and the size of the airport for a lot of reasons, for the university, for the community, for businesses, for the athletic department, and for us.
All right. I get it logistically. James Franklin makes $8 million a year. How about if you donate $1 million, Skippy, and buy some asphalt? Right?
Well, if the successful alumni like Mike Missanelli did their part,
Mike Missanelli's already donating.
They
Mike
would be
Missanelli
able to get it.
donates to the journalism department. I got to donate to that big behemoth where he's making $8 million.
If they lose this game, Mike, it's because they had to drive an hour to the airport. Sorry, that was
It's actually 2 hours.
Is it a 2-hour ride?
Yeah, but beside the point, you don't have enough resources to build a better runway in State College? Seriously? What are we doing here? How about my man? How about you donate? That's $8 million that you make. You don't produce $8 million worth of value.
Yeah, a little.
So you start your own GoFundMe, and you kick it off with $1 million donation. How about that? All right, let's go to the phones. Albert in Merchantville. Albert, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Albert.
Hey, Mike, what's up, brother?
What's going on, Albert?
Hey, no, so I told your screener. So I agree with a lot of the callers. My whole thing is, if I think Nola can hunker in on that, that kind of Greg Maddux sort of. You still there?
It's a good comparison. I like that Greg Maddux.
Yeah, that two-seamer that kind of cuts in.
Yeah.
If he can, mass. Sometimes he gets happy with that curve, and then that's when you get the random, 2-run home run in the third.
You'll be able to tell early if his release point is on point. Because when his release point is on point, you can't tell what's coming out of his hand, which is why he's so effective when he's good. But when that release point is funky, then he gets destroyed.
Yeah. No, I agree. Can I sneak one? I'd like to get the give me three, but
sure.
Can I sneak one Eagles thing in real quick?
Sure.
Do you think the dismissal of the Jets coach kind of opens up the gateways a little bit for our boy Mickey?
No.
No, you don't think it has any impact?
That's Bill Sirianni here.
The gate. What do you mean to tell me because the Jets did what they did? That guy has underproduced for how many years?
No, I totally agree, but I was just thinking if he's on the hot seat, it's like, okay, well, look around the league. Sometimes they can be copycat, that's all.
Yeah, if the Eagles lose to the Browns, then your call is very pertinent because that would be a disaster. And maybe if they, I don't know. I still don't think that they would fire him. But Salad's been itching to be fired for a while now.
Yeah, he's never had a winning record.
Yeah.
He's 20-36 in his career.
Yeah, and once the quarterback bails on you, you're done. Now, the quarterback here is bailing with Sirianni, which is a factor. But they have 4 bop games, and we'll see how they do. If they go 1-3 in these 4 games, I would not be shocked if they did it, to be honest with you. All right, let's play Give Me 3.
All right, cool.
The city is Boston.
Boston? All right. Let's go Ted Williams.
Oh,
it's a good pull.
Old school
right.
Teddy ball game.
Yeah, Teddy ball game. Boston. Let's go Roger Clemens.
Clemens, who was at Veterans, who was at Citizens Bank Park, watching this kid get a hit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And football. Does Foxborough count or what?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, obviously, let's go Randy Moss. Can I do that?
I certainly can. And you want Randy Moss over Brady, which is real. This is what's interesting about this whole thing. Because Brady is the quintessential choice, right? Brady, Bill Russell, Bobby Orr.
Ray Bork, Adam Oates.
Ray Bork and Adam Oates.
Tim Wakefield.
Ray
John
Bork.
Branch.
Oh, my God.
Ray Bork is one of the best hockey players of all time, dude.
John Rondo.
Over Bobby Orr? What do you
You
want?
said Bobby Orr.
Well,
I can't repeat your
Bobby Orr
answer.
is the quintessential guy. You're going to go Ray Bork and Bobby Orr?
Phil Esposito.
Oh, Espo. All right. You're going to go hockey, but this is where you're programmed. So you're hockey programmed, right? What will be you?
Dustin Pedroia. Tim Wakefield. Rajon Rondo.
He came up with 3 obscure guys, too.
He did.
It's amazing how this works.
It is. I
Because
like this
the
game.
obscure guy, like, there's quintessential answers. Like, you can't do better than Bill Russell, Bobby Orr, and Tom Brady.
Larry Bird. Right? You could throw him in there.
You could throw him in there. Would he be higher on the list of basketball players than Bill Russell? Maybe he would be. Maybe you go Larry Bird, Bobby Orr, and Tom Brady.
Yeah, Brady's got to be in there.
Yeah. All right. Let's go Justin in New York. Justin, what's up?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
What's going on up there in New York? What's the buzz like?
Well, I'm a Phillies fan, and honestly, everyone I know is a Yankees fan up here. I don't know too many Mets fans.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, I feel pretty good about tonight. Pretty optimistic, but I'd be lying if I said I felt great. Obviously, I'm a little bit nervous, but I think Aaron Nola needs to come up big tonight. I know you said 7 innings. I would say that would be, great. 6 is like the absolute minimum we need from him. And I'd really like to see Alvarado get a shot tonight. I think Strahm, maybe later in the series, they've seen him two times in a row. I think for us to reach our ceiling, Alvarado has shown in the past, and he had a good September. I want to see what he's got in this playoffs, so I think they need to give him a shot.
Yeah, but the problem, here's the thing. They use Strahm because probably his splits against right-handed batters are decent. Alvarado is just a lefty guy. So, who's in their lineup that's that dangerous that you're going to have to bring? You're going to have to trust Alvarado for 3 hitters.
I hear you.
Who's the left-handed guy that they need Alvarado for? That's why he might not play that well in this series because of that.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I just feel like when he's on, it doesn't matter lefty righty. But I know what you mean. And
I think it does matter
also,
lefty righty. I don't know if he's that successful against right-handed batters. But all right, go ahead.
Okay, and real quick point. I just have a small beef with the MLB. Like, what is this 5:08 start time? Like, for their sake, like NFL would never do something like this. Like, I'm going to be getting out of work. I'm not going to be able to watch till late in the game. Like, I would think you have a situation.
Well, what's the night game? What's the night game tonight? Is it?
The Padres Dodgers at 9. Like, you could do 7 and 9. It might overlap a little bit. But
yeah,
like
you can't
5,
you can't overlap. So that's the marquee game for them with the West Coast game. They can't. Okay. The West Coast game has to start at a decent hour. Even both these games, though, what's interesting, they're both starting in twilight, which is not good for the efficiency.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, man. Let me. You want to play? Give me 3 here, Justin.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Let me give you let's go with Denver.
John Elway for football. Todd Helton, does that count?
Oh, yeah, Rocky. Todd Helton's bust out. Nice.
All right, so baseball, football, and basketball. Denver, Carmelo Anthony.
Anthony with the Nuggets. Now, Bill, let me guess. You put the first guy. You went Joe Sakic, Patrick Waugh.
Patrick Waugh is in there, no doubt. Patrick Waugh. Dikembe Mutombo.
Go Mutombo.
Denver Nuggets.
Uh-huh.
And I'll go with Johnny Elway. John Elway in Denver Broncos, man.
You got to go Elway.
That's got to be the answer.
Yeah, Elway is the quintessential answer. Todd Helton's a bust out, though.
That is a good one.
Pretty good for him. Right?
I can't believe you knew Patrick Waugh. I got to give you credit for that.
And I used to cover hockey. You think you don't know about me?
You hate hockey.
Actually,
everyone says you hate hockey.
Everybody's misguided. I just like to tweak people. I covered the Flyers for 6 years.
So then you would know that they traded a ton to the Quebec Nordiques, which included Peter Forsberg.
Lindros?
That won a cup. Yeah, Colorado Avalanche.
Of course. I didn't know that.
I know
one of the great dramatic sports talk moments of all time when we had that guy on live. Larry Bertuzzi was the arbitrator. So
you had him on?
You didn't even know. No, we had listened to the live broadcast. Did you know his name was Larry Bertuzzi?
I remember the whole story because they traded.
Did you remember it was Larry Bertuzzi?
Lindros got traded to the Rangers at the same time, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I did know Larry Bertuzzi only because I looked this up recently.
Okay, you looked it up recently.
I did. I was looking back. I forget why.
So give me three hockey guys. You go Sakic, Waugh. Give me a third hockey guy.
Claude Lemieux. Right. I think Claude Lemieux played for the Avalanche.
Well, we remember him mostly with the Devils, don't we?
Yeah, we do. But let me see. Was I right on him being with them?
I'm sure he did play there.
Yeah, he played with Colorado.
All right, 610-632-0975. Nick is next. Our caller says he is confident tonight. We'll see about that after this. Show 97.5 The Fanatic. Big night tonight. Citi Field. Phillies and the Mets. Game 3. And again, whoever wins Game 3, I don't know. If the Mets win Game 3, I think the series might be over. If the Phillies win Game 3, I think the Mets will win Game 4, and it'll go to a 5th game where the Phillies will win behind Wheeler at home.
But you think if the Mets win tonight, the series is over?
Yeah, because then you're talking about sending Ranger Suarez out there.
But you said you had a hunch Suarez was going to pitch well.
That doesn't mean they're going to win. Suarez, I have a hunch he's going to pitch well if they win tonight.
Gotcha.
If they don't win tonight, the stress level for them to piecemeal that game together with Ranger is, to me, a little tough.
And I guess, too, it comes down to if they lose tonight, the Phillies, how do they lose? Because if they lose and Nola is out early and you got to exhaust your pen, tomorrow's a dangerous game, right? Because, like you said, at best, what's Ranger giving you, 5 tomorrow?
Yeah. And they'll have a really quick hook on them, like even 4. They might have to go to the pen.
Oh, man, I hope Nola shows up tonight.
Yeah, this whole thing, we talked about the series and how Ranger Suarez would be a key, you know?
Yeah.
And we come to the conclusion that it's not the same Ranger Suarez, so they're going to have to survive him rather than have him as an asset.
And I know Sanchez only goes 5 on Sunday, but he gave you enough. He only gave up 2 runs. He kept you in it. You would expect this offense to put up more than 2 runs, which they did in Game 2. So if Ranger Suarez can give you a similar outing, 5 innings, 2 earned runs, I'm all right. Assuming Nola goes 7 tonight. Nola can't have a quick hook tonight.
I agree. All right, so in Game 4, the Mets would come back with another lefty, right? Who would be the Game 4 pitcher?
It wouldn't be Peterson, right, Ray? They wouldn't.
Quintana, right? They said,
it'd be Quintana.
It would be Quintana tomorrow, and then Game 5, they would probably go back to Severino.
Senga, I thought was what
yeah, Senga. Well, that's going to be interesting. This is why I think the Phillies have an edge, because they don't really have a guy that they'd be confident about sending out in a Game 5. They would have to do the same thing they did in Game 1.
Yes, that's why.
So it might be Peterson actually gets the start, or it's funny because you start the righty, you put a left-handed lineup in there, then you bring in the lefty.
Yeah, after 2
which
innings.
Is what he did.
Yeah, he did only 2 innings.
All right. By the way, Dylan walked outside. Dylan says Denver first guy came to his head. Jake Plummer.
Jake the Snake. I remember Jake Plummer when he was with the Cardinals.
I remember him more with the Cardinals.
When they were the Phoenix Cardinals.
Correct. All right, Nick in Briar Cliff. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Nicky.
Great, Bill. Good afternoon.
How are you, buddy?
All right. So tonight is a lock. Tonight is the lock of the series for sure. I think we get Nola. I think he gets the offensive support, but I think he gives us 7, which is good because we got to save the bullpen because, like you guys said, and I've been thinking about it, Ranger, we know Ranger's going to playoffs, but we know Ranger's kind of teared off at the end of the year. But he'll be on the short leash, and we're going to need the bullpen tomorrow. So, minimal use tonight. If we get 8 out of Nola, maybe we get a gem like that. And I see even if tomorrow might go awry, 5 wheels up, they're winning. I was talking to the guy, I guess your producer, whoever, before I got on. I was down the game Sunday, and I noticed something. There's an age thing going on here. The younger guys get really nervous, like, up the lead. Like, I thought these kids behind us were going to walk out. A lot of ball game left, guys, known to quit. So I think the bats are alive. Nola gets the run support to ensure he goes at least 7 or 8, and I think we win the series.
I like it. That's pretty good analysis, Nick. I like your analysis.
I think he's right, too.
You're noticing the younger crowd is bailing out on him, huh, Nick?
Noticing how you're going down the game. It's like it was a couple times because that was a seesaw of a game, and there's like six guys, and I guess they're 20s behind us, and I felt like I was talking off a cliff half the time. I said, just relax, a lot of ball game left.
They don't have the patience. I think that's the problem with and I'm going to include myself in this, we don't have the patience. We immediately 3-4 innings and they're not hitting. It's like, oh, it's over. We don't realize it's a slow 9-inning game, 27 outs.
Yeah, you know what young people do a lot? They curse in front of inappropriate. Let me give you your city. We'll play Give Me 3 with you, right? If I give you L.A., give me the first 3 sports names that pop in your head.
You want like a particular sport or any sport?
Any sport. First 3 sports names that pop in your head if I give you the city Los Angeles.
But go Kobe, Magic, and Kareem. It'd be easy.
Ooh, you went basketball totally, and it's hard to argue.
Interesting. I'm going
Kobe, Magic, and Kareem.
Going
hard to argue.
O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson.
USC.
No, it's not the college game.
Well, and then he lived there. He lived in Brentwood.
He didn't play for L.A. Why do you mess up such a simple exercise?
All right, fine. We'll go him. Then we'll go.
O.J. Simpson.
O.J. O.J.'s the first thing that came to my mind with L.A. First thing.
Right. Explain this to me. Can you explain this guy to me?
No.
You don't think O.J.?
O.J.
Mine works in a very interesting way.
All right, so we'll go Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson with the L.A. Raiders.
L.A. Raiders. We'll go Wayne Gretzky with the
Oh, of course you had to throw hockey
L.A.
there.
Kings.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to go oh, man. Who else is coming to my mind?
Let
My
me get
mind's
this
going
straight. Hold on,
blank.
let me get this straight. O.J. Simpson was the first name that popped in your
And
head.
I'll go Shaq.
When I
Shaquille
said Los
O'Neal.
Angeles.
Yes. Because I just watched
What's the matter with you?
the whole O.J. Simpson documentary on Netflix, and he is synonymous with Los Angeles. O.J. Simpson is synonymous with Los Angeles.
You would be wrong, but that's okay.
With Los Angeles sports?
Well, USC. Right, he played at USC. I know he never played professionally, you know.
You're a beauty.
He's an actor, a murderer, you know, all in L.A.
Oh, all right.
A majority of O.J. Simpson's life and story and narrative
He's still trying to justify
focuses
this
on L.A.
stupid answer of O.J. Simpson for Los Angeles.
I think it's a genius answer.
Ray, what do you got for L.A.?
Matt Leinart, obviously, USC. Yeah.
Matt Leinart.
I think he works for Fox Sports and lives out in L.A., right? He spent most of his life out there
There you go.
in LA.
And he did push Reggie Bush into the end zone, didn't he?
So obviously that's got to be the first one that comes to your mind. Jonathan Broxton was actually the first one that came to mind.
Jonathan Broxton, who gave up the home run to Matt Stairs.
Into the night.
Look at that.
Man, what?
I got a bust-out baseball guy. Kirk Gibson.
Kirk Gibson. Yeah.
Oh, what else you got, Ray?
Nomar Garciaparra from that 08 team.
No.
They beat Nomar in that
You're as
series.
bad as Bill.
And here's the best bad one I got for you.
No, Mark.
Nick Young.
Oh, man.
Swaggy P.
Yes, because of the D'Angelo Russell cell phone fiasco with him and Iggy Azalea.
Oh, my God. I'll give Bill Gretzky. That's pretty good. O.J. Simpson is San Francisco more than L.A., isn't he? He's from
San Francisco, but then he played at USC, which is close to L.A., right? It's in L.A. They play at the Coliseum.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, man. Matt Barkley. When I think of L.A., I think.
Yeah, but you're not factoring in the. You're not factoring
Reggie
in.
Bush.
You're not factoring
I'm
in
going
that.
Reggie Bush. I'm going Mark Sanchez.
No, you can't. Because neither Mark Sanchez, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart were on trial in the trial of the century, which took place in Los Angeles. O.J. Simpson is synonymous with Los Angeles.
Let me look at my sheet of paper. Let's see. Give me 3 means give me the 3 sports names from a particular city. That's what it says right here.
And O.J. played sports.
I wrote it down.
And O.J. played sports.
Wrote it down. Let's go to Nate in Pottstown. Nate, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Nate?
What's going on, Mike?
How you doing?
Welcome back, Bill. A decent addition to the channel.
Thank you, Nate. I appreciate it.
He's solid. He's a solid addition, not decent.
I would have given.
Don't let that O.J. answer fool you. He's solid.
All the rules on you. O.J. San Francisco because he played for the 49ers too.
He did. Right. There you go.
Yeah, after Buffalo, he wasn't the same in San Fran though.
No, but nobody is when they go to the next team. It's like Franco and.
Let me ask Nate: would you have ever said O.J. Simpson if I brought the L.A. up?
No, he's Brentwood anyway. He wasn't even in L.A. The trial wasn't in Los Angeles. It was like outside of Los Angeles.
Well, USC is in.
Well, USC, yes, but I wouldn't have thought OJ. You know, we know what OJ's known for.
I think on a higher level than everyone else on the show.
That's fair.
It's so high I can't even recognize it.
Third level thinking.
It's seventh
Going
level.
off script a little bit.
All right, tell me why you're outwardly confident tonight, Nate.
Well, you always have to exude outward confidence because, as Bill said earlier, you know, we all are so impatient. You know, like we're waiting for the innings. So tonight, what we're going to see, you know, Noel's going to give up at least 2 to 3, right? He's going to give up the random home run. He's going to get into trouble, but he's going to grind it out, right? He's going to grind 6 innings out, get into trouble a lot of times, but he's going to get out of the trouble. Then the bullpen's going to give up 2 or 3. So the Phillies need to score 6 or 7. They're going to win the game, which makes the over at 7 the deadbolt lock of the millennium.
Whoa. Okay. I kind of like that. You know, I've been burned a couple times in this series already. I don't think I'm betting tonight.
I like to live bet it. You know, that's sort of my
preference.
Yeah, live bet. You know, when they go down, you're like, oh, I feel like I'm going to come back.
Yeah. Playoffs are tough, though. You never know when somebody's going to come back in the playoffs. So,
but it's basically a pick 'em tonight.
Yeah, it's probably a good bet for you.
I mean, like, I made a lot of money betting against the Eagles last year to give up a touchdown on, like, the single drive. You know, like, when you bet the result of this drive, I would say touchdown for every other team. And, you know, they gave up, like, how many? Like, 15 straight touchdowns.
Yeah, I got you. All right, then let's play Give Me 3 with you.
All right, what's the city?
I'm going to give you a team that's currently playing in the MLB playoffs. Cleveland.
Oh, Cleveland. Well, Eric Metcalf, scat back, number 21, my favorite player growing up.
Eric Metcalf.
That's a pull.
All right.
That's a pull. Then I got to go Frank Minifield, the cornerback on that defense with Bernie Kosar.
Oh, my God.
Because I have the jersey. I do have the jersey.
Frank Minifield.
That's right.
What else?
And if I'm going to go random again, I got to go opposite with Hanford Dixon on the other side. I could name Cleveland Browns guys all day, but let's try to see. Football, like, grown up.
God, you're missing the most obvious name.
There's 2 obvious ones.
Well, I mean, you can go LeBron, right?
All right.
Yeah, there it is.
You go. You got LeBron.
You got to go LeBron, and then you got to go Jim Brown, don't you?
Yeah. Eric Metcalf and Frank Minifield, he went.
Yeah, LeBron and Jim Brown have to be on the list. I don't know. Then after that, I'm going obscure. I'm going Kellen Winslow, the second.
Kellen Winslow the second, the guy who got arrested for rape?
Yes.
That one?
That Kellen
You had
Winslow.
a murderer and a rapist. your last 2 selections.
I watch a lot of crime documentaries, including The Coldest Murder on YouTube. Check it out, about the murder in Bristol, PA.
I'm glad you brought that up because I am headed to Bristol after the show with the crew of CBS Saturday Morning.
Oh, that's why you got a fresh haircut. You're looking good.
Yeah, so they're filming me in my hometown. There's going to be a sit-down interview at the wharf on the river, but also they're going to have me walk around town into the spots that were the creepiest.
Wait, today?
But they're also going to, in front of my old childhood house. Now, this is really an interesting little situation. Do I knock on the door of my childhood house with the residents that are in there now to tell them that we'll be filming?
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah, because if
now,
not...
is that my responsibility or is that the producer's responsibility?
I think it's the producer or the cameraman.
I got to be honest with you. I don't feel like going up to my old front door. It feels creepy to me to look inside the house I grew up in and see the changes.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's on you.
It's not on me?
No. Like, if we were doing a show in front of your house, Ray would be the one to knock on the front door.
Whoa.
It'd be whoever set up that remote that's going to go do that.
I don't know how this is going to play because, when they have crews, they have camera crews, and, like, this is a whole crew doing this, right? Yeah. So this little street that I grew up on, like, the neighbors are probably go, what the hell is going on? Like, nobody would know who I am.
No, they're probably going to be like,
my old neighborhood.
Isn't that Mike Missanelli? Isn't he rooting for the Mets today? You better get done by 5 o'clock.
Anyway, yeah, they say I will be. Anyway, on Twitter, a guy asked me on Twitter, Mike, when are you going to write your next book? I've written a couple books. And I said, well, I don't have really a book in a planning. I'm immersed in this True Crime podcast called The Coldest Murder. And another guy tweets out, wait, my wife listens to that. I didn't know you were on it. Well, I'm not a guest on it.
Yeah.
I kind of like it's my
yours.
project.
I
My
didn't know
wife
you were on
listens to this. I didn't know you were on that. I go, all right, well, whatever. But anyway, yeah, it's. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm a little, yeah.
It's kind of cool, though, Mike. It is. It's kind of cool that they're doing this story.
Apparently, this is the way it was explained to me. They tried to get video inside the church, and the church shut them down.
Well, I'm sure this is
which is fine.
Black mark on the church.
Right. But then we were going to do it at the library, which is where she was, down that end of town. And there's this nice sitting area in back of the new library that they built, and that's where we were going to do it. And so they got permission from the library. And then the lady says to the producer of this CBS Saturday Morning, well, can I ask what this is for? And he said, well, we're doing a thing with Mike Missanelli, who has this podcast called The Coldest Murder, about the murder that was in St. Mark's Church in 1962. And they go,
nah.
Oh, that's not going to work out. We have a relationship with the church. I'm sure that they would not like. So we had to find another location.
See, I could understand the church and the library's reluctance if this murder was a couple years ago. But you're going back so many years now.
It is still a blight on that particular church.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it was obviously a terrible tragedy.
Yes. And so it's something that they have wanted to forget for all these years. And here I am dredging it up again, so I'm sure they're not happy about it.
And one of the suspects was the priest at their church.
Correct. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues. I don't think that Citi Field is that intimidating a place for the Phillies. So I think they can go in with a steady hand pitcher. Aaron Nola is nothing if not a steady hand. Sometimes he goes off when his release point is bad, and that's the risk because to me that's the whole key to tonight's game.
Mike and Bill have been pleading their cases.
Aaron Nola has to get them through 7, and then you got to reduce the margins and hope that the relief pitchers that you will use in those spots succeed.
I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't have a feel either way. I mean, it's really a toss-up. It could go any way. I'm hoping that you're right, that Aaron Nola comes out and pitches 7 scoreless innings would be great. Sean Manaea. Phillies had a lot of success against him, especially in the postseason last year when he was with San Diego. They dominated him, or excuse me, 2 years ago in the NLCS. They dominated him. He came on in relief, but he's a different pitcher this year. He's having career year.
The Mike Missanelli Show Holding Court is brought to you by Grunko Law, your law firm when you need help because of an injury. We treat every case like it's Dallas Week. Pray for peace, prepare for trial. Now back to Mike Missanelli on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All righty. It's the 1 o'clock hour. Mike Missanelli Show is brought to you by Ferguson HVAC Line Conklin, Tension HVAC Contractors, for equipment parts and supplies for every heating and cooling job. Visit one of Ferguson's counter locations, Ben Salem, King of Prussia, and Salciunas, or Westchester. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the lineup is out. And it's just like we thought. Rob Thompson is going safe with the right-handers against the left-hander Manaea. Your lineup is Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Castellanos. Boom, back in there. Hitting 5th, Real Muto, the catcher, and then Hayes in left. Sosa is your second baseman. Rojas in center field for Aaron Nola tonight. Not really a surprise.
Not really a surprise, but I thought maybe there was a chance he would have kept Stott in there. I thought it was a no-brainer he would go Hayes in left with Rojas in center, but maybe you go with the hot hand Stott. But look, this is what he's pretty much done the last couple of months, is he likes the lefty-righty, so you got a lefty on the mound. He's going with the right-handed hitters.
You know, if Sosa can make him look good tonight with a couple knocks in that spot. As you know, I'm a big Stott man, so
really,
I wouldn't have done it.
I'd like to see Hayes show up, man. I mean, this was the guy at the deadline when everybody said they're going to upgrade the outfield.
You hate Hayes. You hate him.
Well, it's because
you loathe Hayes.
Leading into the
he's not Randy Arozarena and he's not Lewis Robert.
That's correct. That's correct. Because going into the deadline, we all said, including Dombrowski, we got to upgrade the outfield. And then Dombrowski did, and I don't know if he got it right.
Wow.
Austin Hayes proved us right.
The kid got derailed a little bit with the injuries and all that stuff. I still think he's going to get some big hits. Maybe this is the night he gets some big hits.
I hope you're right. I hope tomorrow I'm sitting here saying, Austin Hayes, what a move that was by Dombrowski. He was the hero last night.
All right, and also, as a special bonus to your calls in the 1 o'clock hour, we are playing Gimme 3, where I will give you the name of a city, the first 3 names that pop into your head sports-wise, which is really an interesting phenomenon because it's weird names come up. Like guys like Frank, like Menafield from the Cleveland Browns, a cornerback, like way back in the day, comes up for that guy.
Yeah,
right?
It's interesting.
Frank Menafield.
What people remember. Yeah, like TJ Houshmandzadeh, we said. Ray said Brandon Phillips.
Yeah. I was watching baseball last night. We'll get to the calls in a second. And watching the Yankees game. You ever hear somebody that just kind of makes your blood boil?
Every day, 10 to 2.
Ray? Ray makes your blood boil? in any event, I can't stand Bob Costas. Now, I know this is my problem. But I don't know why I don't like him. He's just so full of himself and so, like, ultra baseball serious and obnoxious about it. You know, I can't take him. I can't stand him.
Ray didn't tell you? He's our guest on Friday.
He's coming on in 5 minutes.
And I don't know if people feel the same way. I looked on Twitter last night. A lot of people were agreeing with me, and a lot of people said, "Oh, he's a respected." I go, he's just so full of his own seriousness. I just can't take it.
He's very serious, Bob Costa. I didn't even realize he was still doing things.
Yeah, he does.
What did he used to do something for HBO?
Yeah, he did he did some kind of show.
Yeah,
I mean, he does stuff for the MLB Network.
The double play call last night. Oh my God!
I can't even listen to him. I had to turn the game on. I was watching Law and Order reruns. I swear to God, I can't. Like, he makes me so. I don't know what it is. It's like a Seinfeld episode where Mary Hart's voice made Kramer freak out. Like, that's
someone finds you just on the ground.
That's what Costas does to me. I don't know what it is.
He's getting killed for that double play call. Do you have?
Yeah.
Do you have the audio?
I'll go grab it.
Because people are saying he's like, you could hear his disgust that they turned to double play.
He's pro-Yankee.
Yes.
But he's pro-Yankee because he's like the sanctity of the game and the great Yankee tradition and all this stuff. And that just makes me ill. Like, at the end of the day, it's a game, brother. Like, make fun of yourself sometimes. Poor Ron Darling's got to work with him. Ron Darling doesn't know whether to wind his butt or scratch his watch when he's with Bob Costas.
Wind his butt or scratch his watch.
Yeah.
I get it.
You see?
Never heard that before.
He's so confused.
I got it.
All right. Let's go to Aaron in West Philly. Aaron, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Aaron.
Y'all one of the funniest shows, man.
What's up, Aaron? How you doing?
What's going on, Bill? Now, L.A., man, you need to stop, man.
It's the first thing. It
comes up with
It's
LJ.
the first thing that popped into my mind.
It comes up with LJ.
Tonight, I don't like the lineup already. Scott, why don't you put Scott in there?
Wait, let's go righty. Listen, it's well reasoned because Manaea is such a sidearm slinger that you want as many right-handed batters as you want. But I would never take Stott out. I think he gives you an infield stability, and when you put a part-timer in there, he's just not used to playing every day, and so it's not as natural to in the field.
And how do you feel Nola should pitch tonight? I mean, he's a nibbler. He's
let's say
go like 100. So he throws it. I'm scared of the big inning with him.
You should be scared. He does give up the big inning when he loses his command. He's got to have ultra command and ultra consistent release point to be effective.
Okay, but I heard that the Phillies really hit this guy, but they hit Nola too. So I don't know how this.
I don't know about hitting Manaea now. He's a completely different pitcher.
Oh, okay. All right. I seen those Sixers last night, man.
We didn't even mention the Sixers. They played the New Zealand Breakers last night.
Breakers.
No George or Embiid, though, right?
No, George and Embiid.
No George and Embiid. Maxey went off.
He did. In the first quarter, he went off. They smoked that team, that poor team.
Yeah, that was
they had Jonah Bolden. Remember that stiff?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, Jonah Bolden.
And I thought he was going to be a player too.
Yeah, so did everybody else thought that too, except me. He's a stick.
Right.
He averaged 8 points in an Israeli league, and people were thinking he was going to walk into the NBA and do something.
Oh wow! Give me a city.
All right, Aaron. Here we go. We're going to go Dallas.
All right, the Mavericks. I could go Aguirre. I could go. Tom, I'm forgetting his name now. Starback.
Oh, Stahlback, you go. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll go Starback. And I go Tony Dorsett, man.
All right, that's a pretty good call, Stahlback. So you went Stahlback over Troy Aikman.
Yeah, I would have gone.
Which is really interesting.
And I would have gone Emmett over Dorsett.
You would have gone Emmett. Sure, you go to go on Emmett.
And then for whatever reason, this is what's funny about this game. The next one that pops into my head, Mike Modano.
Of course.
Won a cup.
That's a pretty solid selection.
Won a Stanley Cup?
I would not have thought of hockey. Here's one that popped in my head. It would pop into nobody else's head unless you're a basketball junkie. Rolando Blackman.
Yeah, never think of that.
For the old the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, not thinking
like
that.
in their Mavericks heyday back in the day. Well, he put Mark McGuire from that squad. McGuire.
What do you got, Ray? Who pops in Ray's head for the city of Dallas?
Well, I mean, it's all the obvious ones when you think about it. Julius Jones, J.J. Barea.
J.J. Barea.
And
for the Mavericks.
I would probably, in that case, wrap this one up with I'll go Drew Bledsoe. Yeah, obviously.
Drew
Bledsoe over Tony Romo.
Obviously, yeah. Drew Bledsoe believes he should play over Tony Romo, so why shouldn't I?
Yeah.
All right. I think the thing is to get the most obscure people.
I think it is too. He likes that.
He's got a shtick going.
No.
Yeah.
This is Julius Jones is who comes to everyone's mind first, right?
Julius Jones, I never would have even thought about.
His
That's
brother?
early Madden. That's early Madden. For
His
me.
brother was Thomas Jones. Played for the Jets, right? Two brothers.
I played against the Cowboys a lot in Madden when I was like 5, so I was all about it.
All right, so you go Mike Madonna.
Mike Madonna.
It's a pretty solid
It's a good
line.
one.
He's a famous guy from the Dallas Stars.
He was also in the movie Mighty Ducks, and is
Was
the
he?
reason that Gordon Bombay got his chance. Remember, he said, "Oh, I used to play with this kid. This kid was a stud."
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Mike's like, yeah, I remember. I remember that. Yeah, Gordon Bombay.
Yeah. 610-632-0975. Rob Thompson is going to have a presser at 1:30, so he'll explain all these moves, and he'll be consistent. He'll say, "I think Sosa gives us energy, and I like him against the left-handed pitcher," which is weird to say. So we'll try to get some highlights if he says anything interesting. The Mike Missanelli Show continues on 97.5 The Fanatic. Having playing a little game called Give Me Three, which I used to do way back in the old days. I can't even remember how I did it, but it came to me. So we're as we're talking about the Phillies and their big night tonight, we're throwing that in as well. And I just got a tweet. I read a tweet that says, "Did Bill say for Dallas Lee Harvey Oswald?"
No, but I did think of JFK when you said it.
Oh my God.
I did.
All right.
Hey, there's no wrong answer in this game. It's whatever pops
OJ
into
for
your
LA.
head.
Did he say Lee Harvey Oswald for Dallas? Oh my God! All right,
hold on.
That would cracked up Ray. Look at me.
Yeah, Ray's
Beside
cracking up.
All right, Ray. What? What you want to say?
So somebody on YouTube just asked this, and I actually meant to ask you this.
Huh?
They asked if you saw Xavier Worthy's mom last night celebrate the touchdown with him.
I did not.
Very attractive.
Xavier Worthy's mom?
Yes. Apparently she had him when she was 18. Ray, did you see Xavier Worthy's mom last night?
I did not, no.
Very attractive woman. No. Anyway. But maybe you did. Clearly that's why Landon has asked that on YouTube. But I'm with you, Landon. I saw the same thing.
I didn't catch much football last night.
Hold on. And now Greg on YouTube's getting all holier than thou. She's a mom. What does that mean? She can't be attractive? I know plenty of attractive mothers.
Of course.
I think there's a term for those.
Yeah.
That we won't say on the air. But anyway, what do we got, Ray?
What do we got? What are you looking to me
We were
for?
talking about Bob Costas, and he blew a call. I didn't hear this part of it because I can't get that far with him. I swear to God, I put the game on. I can't listen to him. I put it down. I was watching it silent. I was.
Yeah, you had
I
a real...
like Ron Darling. I like him, and I was deprived of Ron Darling because of Mr. Self-Righteous. All right, let's hear him. This is how he describes a double play in the game.
Hit to short. Witt gets the force. Can they turn two? Yes, they can, and it's just the point we were making. It's not Giancarlo's fault. A near base hit. Couldn't beat it out at the other end. Turns into a double play.
It's not Giancarlo's fault. Whose fault is it? What is that? Oh, my God. That's so unprofessional.
Wait, is that a national broadcast? That's not like a local
broadcast. It's a national broadcast.
Wow.
Well, his Yankee stuff is coming through his pores there.
He's also got
embarrassing.
It's a little bit of an annoying voice for a play-by-play guy.
Well, he's annoying. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I can't, his voice even annoys me. All right. We're talking about people are really hard on non-hitters. Like, Philly fans at the field. Well, these hitters, they didn't hit. And I kept saying, it's like baseball, sometimes you don't hit. It's not like shocking. You can't guarantee that you're going to hit. So let me just go over a couple things here in the playoffs as we sit right here. Bobby Witt, good player, right? MVP type of player. He's 3 for 19 for the Royals. Aaron Judge, he pretty good hitter? In a $143.
Well, Judge has struggled in the playoffs.
Mookie Betts, 0 for 9. He's an 0 for so far for the Dodgers. Machado, 3 for 17. The great Ohtani, 222 he's hitting. Pitching is what is most important in the playoffs. If you're executing pitching, it's freaking hard to hit.
You are not wrong, but you're citing individuals. Where Philadelphia fans got frustrated over the last 2 years is it wasn't just one player or two players or even three players. It was the whole lineup that stopped hitting.
Yes, but sometimes the lineup, when the main guy doesn't hit, it goes into the lineup because that puts extra – oh, no, he's not even hit. I got to get a hit. I'm obsessed with getting hit. And that messes you up as a player.
It shouldn't happen with this team. It shouldn't. We should not see it happen again.
Are they robots going up there?
No, but this is their third postseason now, pretty much the entire team together for 3 postseasons. There's enough hitters in this lineup that we should not see what happened in Game 1 ever again during this postseason run. It shouldn't happen.
All right. Let me give you a city to play. Give me 3, Bill.
All right, let's see what I can come up with this time.
Minnesota.
Oh. I'm going Randy Moss. I'm going Kevin Garnett.
You're going old Timberwolf Kevin Garnett.
Correct. And I'm going to go with all he does is catch touchdowns. Chris Carter.
Chris Carter. Pretty good. No Minnesota Wild in there for you?
No.
Ray, what do you got?
Kyle Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph, the tight end.
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook had some heyday there.
And Jeff Teague.
Jeff Teague.
All right.
Jeff Teague.
Interesting.
Great podcaster. Once a basketball player, too.
He listens to his podcast as he gets stuff.
He does for this show. It's for the news at noon.
The first guy that comes to my head is Joe Mauer. He's got a Hall of Fame.
That's a good one.
I want to see if you get the what. Someone said someone on YouTube that I want to see if you get, because this is a good one.
Fran Tarkenton?
No, but great one.
Another great one.
YouTube, huh?
Little heavy set.
Oh, Kirby Puckett.
Kirby Puckett. Yeah, that's a good one.
Puckett. All right, let's go to Andy in Lambertville. Andy, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Andy?
Hey, good afternoon, gents. Hey, good luck on your interview, Mike, this afternoon. Big fan of your podcast as well as the show, of course.
Thank you. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you listening to it.
Yeah, man. Hey, by the way, is Vince and Bill related? Are they like long-lost brothers?
Vince who?
Vince, your co-host on the podcast.
Oh, Vince Mola. Oh, yeah, Vince Mola, my buddy who we do the podcast together. He's in New York. He does look like you a little bit, Bill, without the beard.
Good-looking guy.
Hey, tonight's game, I think it'll be important to, well, first of all, I like the all-righty lineup, but I think you'll see Stott and Marsh in the game. They'll pinch hit once Manaea's out. At some point, you'll see them finish the game. But I'm thinking one of the most important things is when Topper's going to take Nola out of the game, because we all know he can throw 5 innings, shutout ball, and then at some point he's going to give up 2 or 3 runs. So it's going to be important to get him out at the right time or leave him in at the right time. I think that's going to be.
I think they'll go 90-plus pitches with him.
Hopefully.
I
mean, if he's pitching well, they're not going to yank him. Like he's 90. When he hits 90, he can go to 98. He can even get to 100 if they really want to push it. If he's effective.
Yeah, it just makes me. I mean, I'm confident in the game tonight, but it just makes me look, because we've all seen him go. He's cruising along, and then all of a sudden, boom! It's a four-run inning.
Yeah, that usually happens early though, like in a 4th inning. Like if he's cruising, then he's got his command.
Yeah, I'd almost rather him give up 2 or 3 in the second inning and then cruise. Innings 3 through 7.
I hear you. I mean, you want to play the city game? Give me 3.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
All right, San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco. I got to go. Let's see. I'll go Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and I'll go a little Ray Dunn here. I'll go Buster Posey.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Willie Mays pops into my, come on.
Barry Bonds?
Barry Bonds, Willie Mays.
Brian Wilson.
Steve Young, if you're going Joe Montana, you got to go Steve Young.
I would go Montana over Young, though.
Same. I loved Montana.
And it's hard to beat Rice and Montana for 2 or 3. Talking about maybe the best wide receiver of all time and a top 5 or top 3 quarterback of all time.
Could you imagine, though, being that lucky to go from Montana to Steve Young?
Yeah.
I mean, basically, it's what the Packers did, going from Favre to Rodgers.
610-632-0975. It's the Mike Missanelli Show, back after this. phone or via text. It is 610-632-0975. Do we have any interesting text today, Ray Dunn?
Yeah, except
do.
they're all getting buried by the fact that we're playing the city game and everyone's sending their three names to us.
Everybody wants to play the city game on social media. Yeah, this is. I'm getting a lot of text on my personal Twitter, which is Mike Miss 25. Everybody always likes to play along at home.
Yeah,
with this.
I'm getting texts on my personal phone. I'm getting tweets. Pick up the phone. This game doesn't work as well through that, right? This game has to be a phone call.
In the meantime, what do you got, Ray?
We did get some people checking in on the hitting versus batting debate.
Okay.
Jamal in West Philly. Tell Bill it's hitting, you nitwit.
Wait, who threw in nitwit?
That would be Jamal in West Philly.
Yeah, well, whatever, Jamal. But nitwit is an underrated.
It's an excellent insult.
Yeah.
Underrated.
It really is.
You nitwit.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure that you knew that Jamal in West Philly wanted to call you that. Otherwise, most people just telling you, hey, man, it's hitting.
Yeah.
See, if you Google it.
Now he's got to Google it.
If you Google it, Google AI would tell you that batting is the correct term.
Put your ear to the pavement, will you please?
I really think you could use both.
Get in this world.
I really think you could use both.
One take here in the lineup that we haven't dove into a ton here. Criminal to slide Bohm back into that 5-hole. Not feeling comfortable with that right now. That's coming from Justin in Jersey.
All right, we already have the lineup, and if you're just joining us, Sosa's playing second base, and Rojas is in center field with Austin Hayes. So let's go down. First of all, Sean Manaea versus your Philadelphia Phillies. Alec Bohm is only 2 for 10 against Sean Manaea lifetime, but Nick Castellanos is 6 for 10 at 375
with 3 dingers too.
Harper at 364 with 4 for 11. Austin Hayes is 2 for 3 against him. Real Muto 1 for 7. That's not good. Sosa 4 for 8. Schwarby 2 for 6. Favorable. Trey Turner 5 for 16. A 313 clip. So their numbers against Manaea are pretty good.
And Sosa has taken him yard once. That's a plus 750 play today.
All right, let's look at the Mets versus Aaron Nola. We already told you about Pete Alonso. He hammers him 16 for 50, 3 doubles and 5 home runs. He's hitting 320, but he has struck out 14 times against Aaron Nola. Alvarez has only faced him twice. He's 1 for 2. Jose Iglesias is 4 for 9. Lindor hitting a lusty 212 against Aaron Nola. So he's got his number. Sterling Marte hits 3.655 against him, though. J.D. Martinez, 3 for 19. I don't know if he'll even be in the lineup. Nimmo, 13 for 52. He's faced him the most, 250 clip. Tyrone Taylor, 4 for 10 against him. Mark Vientos has only faced him 3 times. He's 1 for 3. And Jesse Winker, is he in the lineup tonight against Nola? Could Jesse Winker, we have the Mets lineup yet?
Probably, because he's a lefty, right?
I mean, Jesse Winker's 4 for 24, 167. So whether he's in the lineup really doesn't matter. But I don't know, but we have the Mets lineup, what they're going to do in center field tonight. I guess we don't have it.
I'm looking for it. Huh. I'm not. It's not on their Twitter yet.
It's only one position that could change, right? It's center field for that.
No, they changed up 2 of their players in game 2 with Sanchez on the mound.
Well, who are they going to change up?
I'm trying to remember who it was.
They can't change up. Their infield is set. Their outfield has Nimmo in left field and Marte in right field. The only play where they can make a change is in center. It's either Harrison Bader or Tyrone Taylor or Winker.
So here from Fantasy Labs MLB, the Mets October 8th lineup.
Okay.
Lindor, Vientos, Nimmo, Alonso, Iglesias, Winker, Marte, Taylor, and Alvarez. Winker is the DH.
Oh, he's the DH. So Tyrone Taylor will be in center field tonight and not Harrison Bader, who's 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts.
And
Martinez safe bet on that one.
I guess that was an easy call.
And
Look at the numbers.
Martinez was the DH on Sunday. So they changed up. There's 2 guys they changed, the DH and the center field.
Martinez is not effective against Nola. Plus, he hasn't hit for a while. He did get a big hit in Sunday's game, I guess, or Saturday's game, whatever it was. But I like the Phillies tonight. I really do. I think Nola's going to come up big for them.
History would tell you he is, because he usually starts postseason as well. We could worry about him in the NLCS or the World Series, but for right now, the next couple starts of Nola should be good, and I'm hoping there are a couple more, because that would mean they win this damn series.
All right, let's play the game amongst ourselves now, the city game. So let's go with stay in state here. Pittsburgh.
Oh. Big Ben Roethlisberger. Mario Lemieux. I refuse to say the other hockey player that would come to mind.
Oh, look at you. Pettiness. You don't
And then
want
I'm
to
going to go.
Crosby, right?
No, I'm not saying Sid the Kid. I hate him. And then I'm going Barry Bonds back in his Pirate days.
You can't have Bonds.
Why can't you have Bonds?
You can't have him in both cities.
All right.
Yeah, pick a city.
Van Slyke.
Andy Van Slyke. A bust-out name
You
for
like
Bill.
that?
So he goes Ben Roethlisberger, Lemieux, and Van Slyke. That's, Van Slyke doesn't belong there, but go ahead.
Yeah, Martavis Bryant, obviously. Go Heath Miller and A.J. Burnett.
He loves going
He does.
obscure.
Well, I'm going to go chalk here. Come on. Roberto Clemente, Franco Harris.
Oh, the Immaculate Reception.
Terry Bradshaw. Come on. End of story.
Terry Bradshaw may need to hang him up. That whole Fox pregame show.
I think
may
he's
need to hang
rallied.
him up.
I think he's come back in a big way. I don't like anybody else on it.
That's a tough.
I don't like any other guy on that show.
But you like Terry?
I like Terry.
I couldn't think of the first name. Charlie Batch was where I was trying to go with
Charlie
this.
Batch.
But I couldn't get the first name out of my head.
But didn't he play in Detroit too, Charlie Batch?
Yes, he did. He did. All right.
This is such a good game.
You want another city?
This is such a good game.
All right, let's go with. Let's go with Miami.
Dan Marino. See, now you get mad when you go colleges, because this isn't college, so I'm not going to say anybody from the U. So we'll go Marino. Why am I drawing a blank on everybody else here?
Man, you don't have a hockey player?
I'm
the
thinking
Florida Panthers.
The Florida Panthers don't play him.
Van Breesbrook out of.
They're not really. They're not Miami, I don't think. Florida Panthers.
No, they're close.
Ray, help me out here.
All right, yeah, sure. So we'll go Norris Cole, Ronnie Brown.
Ronnie Brown's a good one.
And we'll go with Christian Yelich, the Marlin.
I guess we could go Dwayne Wade.
Of
now
course
that's coming.
you go Dwayne Wade. Of
That's
course.
coming. I forgot about the Miami Heat.
You could go LeBron too, but since we already took LeBron,
So go Chris Bosh.
You got to go Chris Bosh. That's exactly.
Mario Chalmers.
There you go. Mario Chalmers would work too. No Marlins. You had a Marlin you gave for Atlanta the other night.
I got one.
Dan Ugla.
Ugla, yeah.
Gary Sheffield.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Loved Gary Sheffield.
Gary Sheffield is excellent.
Remember the bat?
Yeah, I remember it. All right.
Mike Stanton, actually. Mike Stanton.
Mike Stanton. All right, that's okay. All right, let's go one more now. Let's go with Detroit.
Ooh. You got to go Megatron, Calvin Johnson for the Detroit Lions.
That's pretty good.
You got to go Steve Yzerman and Sergei
Stevie
Fedorov
Y.
with the Detroit Red
Two
Wings.
hockey players, he goes, with the great Detroit Pistons of old, like Isaiah that doesn't come into your head, but two hockey players still.
I didn't like that Pistons team. The bad boys.
Yeah.
Rodman.
Yeah, Rodman.
Calvin Joe Dumars.
Dumars. Is he still a GM somewhere?
Rasheed Wallace.
Evan Fournier.
Rashid is a good one. Rashid's a big hockey fan.
Barry Sanders. Ever hear of him?
Well,
Dan Orlovsky.
I went Megatron, so.
Dan Orlovsky.
Dan Orlovsky. It's funny that Dan Orlovsky has turned into this quarterback guru.
He's doing a job.
Yeah, just because.
You don't like him?
I actually think he does a great job. I'm saying it's just funny that Dan Orlovsky was able to transition from the guy who runs out of the back of the end zone to take a safety to now critiquing other quarterbacks.
Well, you don't have to be a great player to be a good analyst.
That is the truth.
Or a manager or a coach.
Sometimes sometimes your best players aren't good at
All right,
coaching or
let's get to
training.
the business of prognostication here. Tonight's game, Game 3, very important. I believe if the Phillies lose this game, they have lost the series.
Wait a second. I thought earlier you said
did I
the
say that?
opposite. Earlier you said if the Mets lose, they won't be able to come back. But if the Phillies lose, they would.
What did I say? I can't even remember what I
He
said.
started in the. I don't think this is going to be. No, but he started to move throughout the show to this point. He had gotten to this point already.
I screwed up then. I like the Phillies to win the game. That's what I'll say. I think they will win tonight's game.
And because of it, you think they win the series?
Yes.
But if they lose, you think there's a chance that they could potentially bounce back? Is that right?
I don't. If they lose this game, I think they could lose Game 4 because of the Ranger Suarez factor. That's what I think I was trying to say for most of the show.
Yeah. No, it's because it is. It's tough, though, Mike.
But I think they'll win the game, so we won't have to worry about that.
It really could go either way. But I am leaning more. I'm not overly confident, but if I'm leaning one way, Phillies win. Because I'm taking Nola over Manaea. I'm taking the Phillies lineup over the Mets lineup. And I'm certainly, even though the bullpen struggled in the 2 first games of the series, I'm taking the Phillies bullpen to close it out over the Mets bullpen. So when you factor all 3 of those things in, Phillies should win tonight. Raymond?
I'm so uneasy about all this.
Are you?
I am. I really
nervous about tonight, huh?
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I've been
5
thrown since Saturday. That 8th inning did wonders to my confidence.
So Sunday didn't do anything for you?
You should have heard Ray on the
I was relieved.
air Sunday morning.
Oh, were you ripping him?
Sunday
absolutely.
morning, you would have thought Ray was
Really?
eulogizing a family member.
Really?
I was
You were down. You were down and out.
I was down and out.
You thought it was over?
Yeah.
The one game.
Yeah. You only get 5 of these. And now you gave them home field. And I got to deal with Ranger in Game 4, and I don't know what that is right now.
All right. Well, let's take 3 tonight.
They take
Just
3.
Take 3. You're
be in a much better spot.
You're nervous about 3.
Yeah.
What makes you so nervous about it? You think Nola will not come through for you?
Well, one, they saw something in Nola last time. Because if you remember in that game, they saw something there immediately signaling to one another. They thought they had something on him, and then all of a sudden, 2 3-run shots. So that didn't make me feel good there. And then just, again, they go back home. I saw this script play out back-to-back years with the Phillies, where you take one on the road, you're happy you took one on the road, you go back home to a frantic place and a chance to take your house money and keep rolling with it. It scares me to be on the other side of the script right now.
Wow.
Ray, I'm disappointed in you. You have been overly confident about this team for months.
Yes, because when I was talking about this team, they had Zach Wheeler going in Game 1, giving them a gem. They gave him a gem, and they didn't take advantage of it.
Well, it's awkward how they got here. You would have thought maybe they win Game 1, lose Game 2. They just flipped it.
Or I would have thought they needed to go up to New York and just win one of them.
That's all they got to do.
All right. Well, this is look. I'm going to even go deep. I'm going to go specific. I think Manaea gets him out in the first inning, but in the second inning, the Phillies break through with a key hit, 2-out hit from Austin Hayes.
I hope you're right on that. See, but here's where I think you're wrong. Schwarber's coming off an 0-for-5 game. He's starting this game off with a hit. Schwarber is going to get a hit, not a home run. I'm not predicting a leadoff home run. He's going to get on base, and they're going to get a run in the first inning.
I hope you're right. I just don't see that lefty versus Kyle Schwarber matchup in the first at-bat. Maybe he gets him a little later. I'm not seeing it in the first at-bat.
He's been good against lefties this year.
Can I ask for one thing? If Hayes does have a big moment tonight, can we get a voice memo for you to play for Bill tomorrow on the air?
Yeah, we will.
Send
I'll
in
tell you what.
something.
Let's try to get Randy Rosareno on there.
Okay, sounds good. He's got some time on his
Or
hands.
Luis Roberts.
Certainly has some time on
I
his
want you
hands.
to record it after the anesthesia is in full effect.
That's right. Tomorrow, anesthesia for me.
Yeah. Good luck with that, man.
Thank you. I have to report, I've been told, at 5:30 a.m.
It's a little early.
Come on, man.
Well, you're excited that we got a 5 o'clock game tonight.
That's beyond the realm. 5:30. I got to figure out a ride. I think I got to call Uber to take me to the hospital.
Yeah, so
nobody wants to get up and take me.
No Mike tomorrow unless he calls in. Amy Fadul will be here with me and Ray.
Yeah, I won't be calling in tomorrow. I'm pretty sure of that. But Thursday, I may have to show up.
If Austin Hayes goes 0 for 4 today, I'm calling you.
All right, it's time for closing arguments, Ray.
Now, closing arguments on the Mike Missanelli Show. Brought to you by Lowenthal and Abrams Injury Attorneys. Injured in an accident, call 800-876-LAWYER or visit LowenthalAbrams.com.
I actually don't have a closing argument other than I hope the Phillies can do what I think they're going to do, which is Aaron Nola gets them through 7 and maybe gets into the 8th. I think it's going to be a really close game. I don't think the Phillies' bats are going to light up tonight, but I think they have a better chance to light up because I think Manaea will get 5 innings in, and that's the end. And the Mets then have to go to the pen for the rest of the game, and that's where I think the Phillies can win this game. I see the Phillies winning this game like a 4-3 nail-biter piece with Estevez getting the save, and we live again for another day where the Phillies then would have 2 games with Wheeler pitching one of them to get to the next round. Bill?
I like it, Mike. I like it. I started the show saying I didn't really have a feel one way or another. I still think it's going to be close, but I think you're right. I think the Phils take this game, and I just pray and hope Aaron Nola shut down that idiot of a polar bear, that nerd Pete Alonso. We don't need any chef's kisses tonight from that nerd alert up in New York. That's it.
Wow. No, Alonso moved you like that.
He's just such a nerd. And he's a fellow Paisan. Gotta be cooler than
I
that.
don't know. Is he? Yeah, that hair's a tip-off. I don't know where that comes from. What's that, a Northern Italian thing? I think he might be a fake Paisan.
Yeah, where is he from, Pete Alonso? Well, he's from Tampa, but I don't know if they've...
maybe Alonso is just something to throw you off.
Oh, I'm looking at his history here.
See, the object of the closing argument is to talk enough to get us to the point where we're supposed to get out of here.
And we did that.
No.
And tonight on The Fanatic, you'll be able to listen to the game.
No, I lob it to Bill. I go, all right, Bill, you got to
You lobbed it to me after saying I don't have a closing argument.
But I talked for 50 seconds. I was at least thinking you would talk for 50 seconds.
Well, we got to talk to Ray because I never thought I was a part of the closing argument. But anyway.
Is he not part of the how's the closing argument supposed to work?
Well, we'll have a meeting about it at some point. It's time for us to get out of here.
That could be my
Phils.
bad. Have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Not me, but Bill.
Fanatic Sports Up.